When Wayne Gretzky was diagnosed with a herniated disc in September, he feared his playing career could be over. A career that rewrote the NHL record book and established him as an all-time hockey legend. But back he came in mid-season, and as he rounds into top form, he leads the Los Angeles Kings into the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Great One and company take on the Calgary Flames today in Game 1 of the Smythe Division Semi-Finals. There is downtown Calgary, Alberta on a cool and cloudy Sunday, and the wild-looking Saddle Dome, the Olympic Saddle Dome, a facility that opened in 1983 and was the centerpiece of the 1988 Winter Olympics. And inside, as usual, more than 20,000 to look on as we get set for Game 1 of the Smythe Division Semi-Finals. The Los Angeles Kings as they come out onto the ice with first-year coach Barry Melrose taking on the Calgary Flames. I'm Al Michaels. Welcome to Calgary. We think this will be a very intense, physical, and very exciting series. Los Angeles against Calgary in a best-of-7. As far as the Kings are concerned, they are in their 26th year in the National Hockey League. Their owner, Bruce McNall, has emptied his wallet. He did it in 1988 when he brought Wayne Gretzky in from Edmonton. But to this day, the Kings have never advanced past the second round. Will this be the year with a healthier Gretzky and Luc Robitallie having a career season and all of the rest? As far as the Calgary Flames are concerned, this is a team that won the Stanley Cup in 1989, but they were knocked out in the first round of the playoffs in 1990, knocked out in the first round in 1992, didn't even make the playoffs last season, hired Dave King. They finished second in the Smythe this year. The magic number is 16. 16 teams right now remain in contention for the Stanley Cup. The first team to win 16, 4 wins in each of 4 series between now and June, wins the Stanley Cup. With me, the former Ranger goalie John Davidson, who played in a lot of Stanley Cup games. John, what is the basic difference between Stanley Cup playoff hockey and regular season hockey?
Well, first of all, I think it's easier to get ready for the playoffs. It's easy to get focused. If you ever saw a great regular season game, players and fans would always say, man, that was just like a playoff game. Well, right here, this is the real deal. This is playoff hockey. Intensity's higher, hitting's always harder, and maybe the biggest key of all is the goaltending. It better be good or you have no shot.
Well, Calgary is Mike Vernon. He's already won a Stanley Cup, but the Kings have had a very unsettled goaltending situation. It wasn't until yesterday that Barry Melrose even announced that Kelly Hrudey would be his goaltender.
Well, it's a long grind when you get into the goaltending situation. You can play every second day for 2 months if you win it all. Kelly Hrudey is the only goaltender with Los Angeles that has goaltending experience in the playoffs, 64 games worth. He finished the season well, and he has to go. He has to be the man that the Kings will look to play well. Knickel will be the backup, not Rob Stauber, and that has created a few eyebrows that lifted right up, thinking along those lines. If you look at Kelly Hrudey, he's got to play well for this hockey club. Calgary knows that. You watch early in this game, they are going to shoot at him from every angle. The Flames think that the key to beating L.A. is to get to Kelly Hrudey. They're going to try to destroy his confidence as early as possible.
Game 1, the Los Angeles Kings. Barry Melrose completing his first year at the helm against the Calgary Flames from the Saddle Dome. Face-off when we come back.
100th anniversary. The celebration will be all the more grand.
The National Hockey League Playoffs, brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great...
All right, we'll get out to the Kings and the Flames in just a moment. But first of all, let's update and tell you what else is going on in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Who is facing who on the road to the Stanley Cup Championship? The Penguins can tie a playoff record with their 12th consecutive victory today. The Islanders in Washington. The road team won all 7 games during the regular season. Buffalo and Boston. Buffalo hasn't won a playoff series since '83. The road team won 6 of 7. Montreal and Quebec as well. North Division, St. Louis and Chicago. Brett Hull with just 2 goals against Chicago this year. And we'll give you highlights of that game in a moment. Toronto, Detroit, great seasons for both teams. St. Louis and Chicago. Brian Noonan, he's the story. Takes the feed here, tips this one home. His 3rd goal of the game. He had 6 during the regular season. And the Hats come flying out onto the Chicago Stadium ice as Noonan gets his first career playoff hat trick. And there, Denny Felsner converts his first career goal in the National Hockey League. And it comes in the playoffs, and right now, this is the tight one. 3-2 is the score. After 2 periods, Noonan with the hat trick. We will see you between periods as well, but right now we want to take you back out to the Saddle Dome and rejoin Al Michaels and John Davidson standing by. It's the Flames and the Kings.
All right, John, game 1. The Calgary Flames, by virtue of their second-place finish and the Kings' third-place finish, own home ice advantage in this best-of-7 series. Games 1 and 2 here, 3 and 4 in L.A., a 5th if necessary back here. 6 would be in L.A., and a 7th game would be played here. John Davidson and I were talking about Kelly Hrudey, and he will clearly, I think, be the key to the Kings' fortunes over the next, well, what they hope to be 2 months.
Kelly Hrudey is an acrobatic-styled goaltender. At the other end of the ice, the more experienced Mike Vernon, who has 70 games experience of NHL hockey in the playoffs, is more of a classic stand-up goaltender, Al. It'll be very interesting to see exactly what Los Angeles does to try to beat Mike Vernon. Will they try the lateral-type passes across to get him to move out and open up quite a bit? This will be a very interesting battle.
Barry Melrose, 36 years old, coached the Adirondack Red Wings to the American Hockey League Championship last year. And here we go. The Kings start with the Gretzky line. And Calgary wants to match up with a line centered by Joel Otto, number 29, who will be Gretzky's shadow throughout the playoffs. Kings in black. This is Thomas Sandstrom sending one in to Gretzky, who loves to set up behind the net. To Sidor, who scores! So the game is 16 seconds old, and Daryl Sidor, a rookie, has scored to put Los Angeles on top 1-0. A dream beginning for the Kings.
Absolutely. Wayne Gretzky's always behind the goal net. That's exactly what he likes to do. Set up his offense. He takes the pass right out to Sidor, the defenseman, and one shot on goal, 1-0 Los Angeles. The Flames players have got to stop Gretzky from getting the puck behind the net. If he does, the Kings will be in great shape as far as setting up scoring chances. He needs the puck behind the goal.
This is Paul Ranheim carrying it in over the blue line. Ranheim circling behind the net, and then he falls down, checked by Huddy. It comes back into the corner. This is Frank Musial sending it in around the boards. Ashton can't control it. Robitallie swipes at it, and Robitallie gets it across the blue line. And as Kurri puts it back in, offside is called. So we played 45 seconds. Another look at the goal. L.A. on top, 1-0.
Al, the key for L.A. when Gretzky's on the ice, get him behind the net. Look at Stanstrom. What does he do with the puck? Immediately behind the goal. Who's there? Wayne Gretzky. Now he can see everybody in front of him. Goes to one side to dish the puck off to the defenseman. He's not picked up. And just like that, 1-0 with Sidor scoring. The Kings will put Gretzky behind the goal. They'll put the puck there blind, knowing he's there, and Calgary's got to stop that.
Sidor scored 6 goals during the regular season. Now the Kings with a line featuring a lot of speed. Granato, Millen, and Donnelly, and the puck came outside the blue line, and we have an offside.
You're looking at Alex Zhitnik, one of the players as a young defenseman with Los Angeles that will try to add a lot of offense to beat Calgary's squad. Calgary's a defensive team. Los Angeles is an offensive club, and with young defensemen like Zhitnik and Sidor, as we've already seen, they'll try to add as much offense as possible.
Kings on top on Sidor's goal with assists to Gretzky and Robitallie coming at 16 seconds. This is Jari Kurri. And an offside against the Kings, so already 3 offsides in the game, 1 minute and 11 seconds into it. Let's take a look at the scratches for today's game. For the Kings, Rob Blake injured his back 2 weeks ago against Minnesota. He is a very big key for them. Won't play today. Probably won't play Wednesday. They hope to have him back over the weekend in L.A. Rob Stauber, who had a chance to be the #1 goaltender as of Thursday night, is now #3. We talked about that during the pregame show, and you saw the others. Now for Calgary, here are their scratches. Headlined by the Russian Sergei Makarov, who has somehow worked his way into Dave King's doghouse, and the rest.
You can say the Chateau Bow Wow.
Yes.
The doghouse. He just has not played well for Dave King. He did not have the work habits that Dave King wants. Dave King wants a commitment for his Flames, offensively and defensively. Makarov did not give that to him. You're looking at Jari Kurri, one of the great two-way hockey players ever to play the game.
This is Suter sending it by Johansson, and then Waters couldn't keep it in at the point. Jitnik over to Kurri, and it comes back into the Los Angeles zone. Jitnik, who played on the gold medal winning team in the Olympics last year, the unified team, the former Soviet team, number 2 for Los Angeles. Calgary coming back the other way. Theron Fleury can't control. Fleury led the team in scoring this year with 100 points. Millen sends it up past Jari Kurri and all the way down the ice, and we'll have an icing call here with 18:08 to go in the first period.
Early in this game, you can see that Dave King's team looks to be the more uptight of the two clubs. Dave King this morning went for a jog like he normally does before a game. At 1 o'clock beginning here in Calgary, local time. You don't see many games in the afternoon in the NHL. However, he's a coach that has had a lot of interest and a lot of experience coaching international hockey, and he was saying 1 o'clock starts easy. Heck, when we played Olympic games, sometimes they had 10:30 in the morning beginnings. They shouldn't bother us at all. But his team early looks uptight.
Kings on top, 1-0. 2 minutes into game 1 of this best of 7 series. This is Dahlquist back to get it for the Flames. But the Kings forechecking, keep it in. Granato, though, can't control the puck. And Gary Roberts, number 10, can't get it out. Back into the Calgary zone.
Calgary can't make the first pass. They're having trouble completing passes, and the Kings are very aggressive, going right at the Flame players.
Now Nieuwendyk controls from in front of the net. Gets it up to Ronnie Stern. Stern over the left side. And Granato was there to pick it up at center ice. Off Kuchuk's stick. And the Flames get it back as Nieuwendyk sends it in. Rudy leaving it for Mark Hardy. Hardy picked up from the Rangers, though he had played with the Kings for several years in the early 80s. Now this is Al MacInnis, number 2 for Calgary, losing the puck to Sandstrom. He leaves it for Gretzky, and Wayne sends it into the corner. Vernon leaving it for Musil. Gretzky is there, though. Gretzky sends it out in front, but it's intercepted by Strudlin, who starts back the other way. Ranheim picked up by Sador, and the Kings clear the zone. This is Sador. He loses it to Ranheim, but Rudy is there to send it into the corner. And the puck out of play. We have a whistle and a face-off with 16:46 to go in the first period. 1-0 Kings. Remarkably consistent in his 7 years with the Kings, but he even stepped it up a notch this year. 63 goals, most ever by a left winger. 125 points, most ever by a left winger. Career year for Robitallie.
And during the regular season, he scored 10 goals in 7 games against the Calgary Flames. Another remarkable number.
4 minutes into the game, the Kings in black on top 1-0. The shot is wide and sent up along the near boards to Reichel. Reichel can't clear the zone. Conacher is there to scrap with it. This is the Kings scrapping line with Reichel and Conacher. Charlie Huddy out in front of the net. And Los Angeles able to send it back out to center ice where Yanni collects it for the Flames.
Now it's the scrappy line for both teams. You've got Taylor, too, with the L.A. Kings, and you've got Berube Strudlin as bigger, tougher, scrappy wingers for Calgary. We'll watch for them to battle in this series.
Reichel flipping it in. And the Kings with a line change, and there's also an icing call here. So he faced off with 15:53 remaining in the first period. They changed the scoring on the only goal of the game. Initially, they gave Robitallie an assist on Sador's goal. Instead, it goes to Sandstrom. So Sandstrom and Gretzky get the assist on the goal by Sador on the first shot of the game. The Pittsburgh Penguins, most people feel they will win it again and make it 3 straight, leading 5-1 over New Jersey, and Chicago in a good battle, leading 3-2 over the St. Louis Blues. Buffalo and Boston, they'll start later. The Islanders and Washington in the Patrick Division Semi-Finals, a later start. And Montreal and Quebec, with Quebec owning the home ice advantage in the Adams Division Semis tonight.
Pittsburgh looks like they'll win. Scotty Bowman has 964 career wins. That includes playoffs, and that's his count. He wants 1,000. And it looks like his team is on the march.
Here is Millen. Millen sending it over for Kurri, intercepted by the Flames. Back comes Theron Fleury, who had 34 goals this season. Reichel sets up in front of the net. Reichel led the team in goals with 40. And the Kings come back the other way with Kurri leaving it for Žitnik, but offside.
The jitters are there. A lot of offsides, a lot of icing, little flow so far. You see Barry Melrose, the head coach of Los Angeles, he keeps a book with him, and the book is entitled The Leadership Secrets of Attila the Hun. If you can imagine what he says the book relates business and sports to running an army. And he says running a hockey team is like running an army. And I don't know if Ralph the dog agrees or not, but Barry Melrose will go back and look at some quotations in the book to try and get his theory straightened out.
And yet there's a paradox, because you would think of the two coaches, King would be the more disciplined, Dave King, the more military-like, as it were.
Both these coaches coaching their first ever NHL playoff game.
Dahl sends it into the corner.
And Corey Millen is going to get a penalty, as is Theo Fleury. Millen was hurt right at the, or hit at the Calgary blue line, knocked down. He got up, skated back, and took a penalty, and then he was knocked down, and retaliation penalties go to both Dahl and Millen. There's Millen knocking down Dahl. That was the initial penalty, and there's Fleury knocking down Millen. So penalties handed out to both teams. And right away, when this happens, you're going to see 4-on-4 action. Right away, Wayne Gretzky steps on the ice. And Gretzky told us prior to the game that maybe, and no one's been talking about it, but maybe with the penalty minutes that should be happening in this series, 4-on-4 action could be a major key to winning the series. More out tonight, a better chance for him to perform his magic.
As it was when he played in Edmonton, and they destroyed the opposition in 4-on-4 situations.
They destroyed it to the point where they took it out of the league and didn't allow it to trade for a number of seasons. That was way back in 1985-86. It has been put back as part of hockey this season for the first time since '86.
Cap Rader, the Kings assistant coach, discussing things with Gretzky. Dan Maruelli sending both Millen and Dahl off for high stick.
I think Dahl wasn't the player. Theo Fleury has now been told. See, Dahl got knocked down, and that was the penalty, right?
Fleury, yep.
Penalty to Millen, and then Fleury came over and knocked Millen down. So Fleury now has gone to the penalty box, and everybody's gotten it straightened out on the ice. 4-on-4 action. Calgary is in a defensive posture with Joel Otto, the big centerman opposite the Kings, Wayne Gretzky. The Kings in this position are thinking offense, period.
They have Gretzky with Kurri and McSorley, and McSorley can play both ways, up front or on the back line, and Žitnik with Ranheim and Otto and Yorny and Suter, the quartet of Calgary Flames. This is Žitnik sending it up for Gretzky. Gretzky for McSorley. Taken away now by Suter in front of the Calgary net. 14.5 minutes to go in the first period. Los Angeles on top, 1-0. Here comes Joel Otto. Otto trying to get it in front. It was deflected by McSorley, swept away by Žitnik, and left for Gretzky. Gretzky coming in with Žitnik. Over to Žitnik, but he couldn't get wood on the shot. Žitnik sends it behind him to Gretzky. Gretzky circling. Sends one in. Out in front, Robitallie couldn't get the rebound. Covered up by Vernon.
A second shot on goal in this game, both by the Kings. The first one that hasn't been a goal. Wayne Gretzky loves 4-on-4, and we just saw a classic example of it. He set the puck up with a beautiful pass to Alex Žitnik, but the puck just barely skipped over the blade of Žitnik's stick. You'll see the pass across. Oh, look at the turner here. Yanni trying to check Gretzky. Gretzky here gets the shot on goal. Robitallie standing right there. Can't get the deflection. Wayne Gretzky with another great shift.
The game is 5 minutes and 51 seconds old. The Kings have 2 shots. One the goal by Sedora, the other the last save by Vernon. Calgary does not have a shot on goal. This is Sedora. It's deflected into the corner. Robitallie chases it down. Musil checks Robitallie. Roberts picks up the puck and leaves it for MacInnis, who has one of the hardest shots in the game. He sends it out in front. Deflection is wide. MacInnis chases it down in the corner. Out in front it comes to Sedor, who takes it away for L.A. Circling back, Huddy checks Nieuwendyk, and that enables Sedor to bring it all the way in over the blue line and backhand one wide. And Sedor chases it down at the point, taken away though by Calgary. Nieuwendyk sends it back out to center ice. And both teams change on the fly as Musil gathers it in for Calgary. To Dahl. Nice pass up ahead to Reichel. His shot is wide. Ashton chases it down. Ashton came over from the Flyers in mid-year. Out in front to Reichel. And his shot is wide to the right. And then cleared out by Jari Kurri. Now Reichel, at 40 goals this season, sends it in around the boards. 7 minutes into the game. Kings on top 1-0. Here comes Millen. He stops. He shoots. It's off the shoulder of Vernon and then high off the glass. Comes out to the point. The Kings are able to keep it in. Out in front. The skittering puck swept aside by Vernon. Sandstrom slaps at it. Gets control of it. Sandstrom checks behind the net. Still has control. Sends it out in front. But no King is there. Instead, it's Reichel coming back the other way for Calgary. And he sends it into the corner as the Flames and Kings both change on the fly.
That was the best shift of the game. You can see now the players are settling in. There's been some hits, some good skating. The passing a little bit better now.
12:20 to go. Opening period. Game 1. Best of 7. Kings on top 1-0. If you joined us late, Darryl Sador scoring for LA 16 seconds into the game. Calgary still looking for its first shot on goal. Rudy does not have a save yet. Out in front, it's taken away by Sandstrom. Here comes Sandstrom with Gretzky. 2-on-1. Gretzky in over the right side. Leaves it for the trailer. Robitallie. Back to Gretzky. Hits the side of the net. Sandstrom keeps it in for L.A. Tries to send it in to Gretzky behind the net. Wayne taken out of the play by Johnny, but Robitallie is there. Up the middle it comes. Hardy with a slap shot. Deflected to the left. Picked up by Gretzky. He sends it to Sandstrom. It's blocked in front. Sandstrom gets it back. Out in front to Robitallie. Robitallie wheels. His shot wide to the left. And Johnny finally clears the zone. He sends it all the way down. If Waters gets there first, it'll be an icing, and it is. With 11:24 to go, Waters gets into it for the moment. Waters is only playing because Blake is hurt. He was the guy on the bubble. And they break it up quickly, and the Kings on top 1-0.
He's a smiling guy today, 50% owner of a horse that won $285,000 last night. The Hong Kong Cup. A horse by the name of Glenn Cates. And it looks like Gretzky's flying out there right now. He is unstoppable so far in the first period.
Co-owned by Bruce McNall, the two involved in a partnership, and they own a lot of thoroughbreds. Kings on top 1-0 with 11:15 to go in the first period. As Zhitnik keeps him in at the point. In behind the net to Conacher. Conacher ridden out of the play by Skrudland, but still scrapping for it. Tries to get it up to Taylor, but Ashton gets his stick on it and sends it all the way down the ice. The Flames still do not have a shot on goal. If you're relatively new to hockey, they've taken some shots at the Kings net, but none of them have been on goal. In other words, it has to go in, even though they've taken some shots at Rudy. So Rudy does not have a save yet.
That's another example, Al, as to why the shots aren't getting there. Calgary's an uptight hockey club here in the first period. Shots are going wide, passes aren't connecting.
Here's Nieuwendyk centering it, and they couldn't get their stick on the puck. Ronnie Stern out in front. Stern fanning on the shot. It comes all the way back to Dahl, who sends it up along the left side to Suter, but he's taken out of the play by Jimmy Carson.
Diligent checking here by Los Angeles.
Including Sador behind the net. And here's a shot. Rudy makes his first save. Ronnie Stern getting it away. So it takes the Flames almost half the first period to put a shot on goal. Kings still on top 1-0. 10 minutes to play in the opening period. Here comes Darren Fleury in over the blue line. And Fleury is ridden out of the play by Shuchuk to Jimmy Carson. Carson knocked down at the blue line and has the puck taken away by the Flames as Ronnie Stern sends it off the board. But it comes to Sador at center ice, and he sends it in wide of Vernon. Now Suter setting it up to Darren Fleury. Here comes Fleury with Ashton and Reichel in around the boards. This is Ashton behind the net. He tried to get it in front, hit the side of the goal frame. Back it comes to Donnelly. Mike Donnelly, the speedy one, to Millen. Millen sends it in front, and Kurri's shot is saved by Vernon.
Great shift by Millen. Millen broke up the play in front of his own goal. Got away from a check, headed all the way up ice, and set up the scoring chance.
Now this is Jari Kurri. Kurri ridden out of the play. by Ranheim. Ranheim does a great job. He's one of the unsung Calgary heroes this season, defensively. This is Reichel. His long shot, saved by Rudy. His second of the game. Hardy is back there for L.A. Sends it all the way up to center ice where MacInnis gains control for Calgary. And he sends it back into the corner. Where it's chased down by Hardy. We have an icing and a face-off upcoming in the Calgary end. 8:41 to go in the period. 1-0 Los Angeles.
Hockey club right now, and they have not allowed Calgary a quality scoring chance yet.
8:30 to go, first period. L.A. on top, 1-0. Getting the goal 16 seconds into the game. A goal by Daryl Sador. Gretzky sending it over to Robitallie, but MacInnis with some good forechecking, keeping it in. Over to Musil. Musil's slap shot is gloved by Rudy with 8:14 to go in the period. Let's check in with John Saunders in New York.
Pittsburgh having their way with New Jersey. Shel Samuelson takes the feed from Mario Lemieux and then does the rest himself, setting up Jaromir Jagr, who just backhands this one home. Lemieux has 2 goals and 2 assists. Back to Alan John.
Every playoff season, it looks like Jagr comes to play. The youngster does it again. Shel Samuelson was the only question mark for Pittsburgh going into the playoffs. He had back spasms. Other than that, and it's bad news if you're not a Penguin fan, they were healthy, real healthy.
Corey Millen, he missed about half the season with a deep groin pull, almost an abdominal injury. They missed him. They missed Sandstrom for much of the season. You know about Gretzky. Wayne didn't even play until the calendar turned to January.
Corey Millen took 6 acupuncture sessions. He finally admitted that that wasn't helping. Only time helped him out. Missed 42 games, but they needed speed, and we've seen how evident that is right here in the first period. The speed of Los Angeles is awesome.
Flames don't want to hear about injuries. They lost Gary Roberts for 2 months, Carey Wilson for most of the season, and Al MacInnis for about 2.5 months with a dislocated hip. And a whistle from Marawelli and Sador getting into it with Berube.
You've got some of the big boys on the ice, in particular with Calgary. Berube's a very aggressive forward, and you can see Calgary trying to stir the emotions of their club up here to get them into more of a flow with their game. The goaltender, Kelly Rudy, was knocked into the net. Brian Skrudland, who's playing with a thumb that's fractured in 5 different places. He's there with a visor on, number 39. He battles. Kozlowski's in front. Now watch how Kelly Rudy will try to play goal, and he'll end up with traffic coming to the front. You see how Conacher's picked up Skrudland, and Skrudland moves in. The left elbow jamming Kelly Rudy right into the goal. That was by design. There's no doubt, and that's the style that Skrudland plays with. A very aggressive style, trying to unbalance, trying to knock Kelly Rudy's concentration off par. The only goaltender that L.A. has that has playoff experience is Kelly Rudy. 64 games worth.
His season very much, in an individual sense, paralleled the King season as a team. Very hot through the first third of the year, very bad through the middle third, and a lot better toward the end, except when they were playing Vancouver. The Canucks have become the Kings' nemesis, with Vancouver winning 7 of 9 this year. But first things first, the Kings just trying to get by Calgary in the opening round. These 2 teams meeting 7 times during the regular season, with each team winning 3 in the 7th and deciding game, what would have been the deciding game in the season series, ending in a tie. And we've got a scrap at the blue line as Skrudland begins to mix it up.
Remember
along the boards.
The battle in front of the net, it was Conacher and Skrudland. Skrudland ran into the goaltender. Well, right here, Skrudland runs into Conacher again, and Dan Marawelli, the referee, will hand out the 2-minute minor to Skrudland. He's gone, and the Kings have a chance to try and make it a 2-0 lead. Skrudland is a very aggressive, tough-minded hockey player, and he knows his team has to get their level up. And he goes out there and got too aggressive, ends up in the penalty box. Right along the boards, the puck is dropped out. You see Skrudland follow through up high to the back of the head of Conacher, and that's why the penalty was called. So the Kings, with the 11th ranked of 24 teams during a regular season, go to work on the power play. They missed Rob Blake, the defenseman, out with the injury. They really missed him on the point, on the defense with a big shot. So they now have Jari Kurri, a forward, back playing on the point.
And one big area of improvement for Calgary this year has been penalty killing. They were very bad at it last year, very disciplined and very good at it this season.
Their ranking went from 18th last year to 5th this year, and that was all under a new coach in Dave King. Very solid penalty-killing squad.
Who you would figure with his experience would put a very high premium on things such as penalty killing.
He likes to have his players, Al, block a lot of shots. If you see the Kings start to get a setup going in the offensive zone and they're about to take shots, you'll see a lot of their players, especially that man, number 5, Dahlquist, they love to get down and block shots.
Kings thus far unable to get anything going 40 seconds into the power play. A minute 15 now left in the penalty to Strudlin, and all of the play has been in the Los Angeles end.
You see Fleury throwing his body around. He's only 5'6", 155 pounds, and he is dynamite at trying to blast people with his body.
And the penalty killing getting the crowd into it, but now the Kings in over the line as Robitallie sends it cross ice to Kurri. Into Gretzky in the corner, his centering pass, but nobody is there. And Calgary able to clear the zone, and Dahl sends it all the way down the ice. 45 seconds remaining in the power play. Teams change on the fly again as Robitallie collects it. He's out there now with Granato and with Millen. Luke in over the blue line. Drops it for Millen, who sends it in behind the boards. Granato there to play it. Tries to get it to Robitallie. Luke can't handle it. Comes to Millen. They've got McSorley at the point. This is Marty now with the puck. It's shot in, and Vernon got a piece of it. Back it comes to Sador. Now to McSorley, and Vernon is able to deflect that one with his upper arm, but back come the Flames with 10 seconds left in the penalty. Ranheim stops at the blue line, now brings it in. So the penalty clock ticking down, and Strudlin now comes out of the penalty box. So a great job of penalty killing done by the Calgary Flames on the game's first power play.
Los Angeles with 2 shots on goal and never really set the power play up at all. This may give Calgary a little bit of a boost.
5:15 to go in the first period. Los Angeles on top, 1-0. Darryl Sador scoring 16 seconds into the game. This is Frank Musil. A drop pass and a penalty coming up on the Calgary Flames. Excuse me. As Maruelli calls it on Jimmy Carson, so the Kings will be a man short.
The tripping call against Carson right near the Kings bench. He was trying to hold up one of the Flame forwards, knocked him down, and now we may see a terrific power play go to work. Calgary Flames power play in the last 9 games of the season operated at 34% efficiency, which is a high number. They have a great shooter in Al MacInnis, a great deflector right in front of the net, and that's Joe Nieuwendyk, number 25. So with Carson in the box, watch out.
If you're wondering how often the teams score on power plays, about 1 in 5 chances. The league average between 19 and 20%. Budweiser scoreboard. Pittsburgh leading New Jersey 6-2. Game 1 there. St. Louis now leading Chicago 4-3. Chicago won the Norris, and the Blues eked into the playoffs at the end, finishing 4th in the division, edging out Minnesota. This is Charlie Huddy trying to clear the zone, and he does. So Carson in the penalty box for another minute and 40 seconds. 4:45 to go. Opening period, 1-0 Kings. This is Roberts sending it into the Los Angeles zone. Reichel chases it down. MacInnis keeping it in. Kings try to clear it, and they do. Again, it's Huddy sending it down the ice, and Vernon is there to flip it along the near boards to Fleury. Now Ranheim to Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk in the corner. Try to get it out to MacInnis, but Gretzky out there killing a penalty. Wayne gets control of it, sends it to McSorley. He leaves it for Dave Taylor in his 16th year at the age of 37. Taylor and Suter scrapping for it. Kings try to keep it in at the point, and do with a minute to go in the penalty. Conacher keeps it in. So Calgary having a tough time getting on track, trying to get it out of their own end.
Well, they've been unable to quarterback the puck right into the offensive zone. What a great hit by Suchuk on Al MacInnis. Knocks him right over backwards.
As Watsky sends it outside the blue line. So the Flames have to regroup with 35 seconds remaining in the penalty to Jimmy Carson. Up ahead to Roberts. Nice pass to Pawlowski. Left it for him, and Rudy with the save.
And Rudy's upset. Look at him talking to the referee. He got knocked down by Gary Roberts. He has the right to complain right here. Roberts dropped the puck off, went right to the net, knocked down the goaltender, and Dan Maruelli said he didn't see it, or else said no foul.
Check in for the moment with John Saunders in New York. John.
Al, you mentioned St. Louis had taken the lead. Here's how they did it. Hall with a shot here. Belfour with a nice save, but Brown gets the rebound and feeds Brendan Shanahan, who just lets it go immediately. That tied the game 3-3 on the power play. 17 seconds later, Emerson behind the net, and watch Hall all alone in the slot. He doesn't miss from there. They have a 4-3 lead. Alan John.
And right here in this game, see Roberts move right into Kelly Rody. A goaltender is not fair game. You cannot bump a goaltender in the crease, out of the crease, anywhere. Gary Roberts got away with one there.
30 seconds left in the penalty. Flames on the power play. Charlie Huddy backhanded it, but Fleury keeps it in. Calgary tries to set it up, but Conacher gets his stick on it. To McSorley, Marty has it taken away, but it's Granato who gains control and sends it all the way down the ice. So the Flames try to regroup for one last rush with 10 seconds remaining in the penalty to Jimmy Carson. This is Kozlowski losing it, and here's Huddy sending it all the way, or just about all the way down the ice. Far enough, though, to kill the penalty. Carson comes back on the ice, and the team skated equal strength. And Kelly Rudy loving it. What is the 5th shot on goal for the Flames in this first period? The Kings with 7. We have 2:59 remaining in the first period in Calgary. Still 1-0 LA.
Try to stand up, not allow Calgary over the blue line. However, the Flames keep coming, and Ronnie Stern will get a second good shot of the period, both to the catching glove side of Kelly Rudy. And Kelly Rudy, who's getting a little more work now, looks very, very sharp.
Gretzky and Otto on the faceoff. Otto wins almost every faceoff he's involved in the LAN, and this one goes in on Rudy. Rudy with a stick save, cleared by Waters.
In this first period, we're seeing Gretzky's line have a lot of success against Otto's line, and this will be a key matchup, I think, all throughout the playoff series. Bruce McNall on the left side,
and Roy Malacher, the president of the Kings, on the right side. Bruce McNall, a numismatist, movie mogul, thoroughbred owner, generally affable man. He'd be a lot more affable, though, if the Kings one of these years can get out of the second round of the playoffs.
He turned 43 years of age yesterday. He certainly had success lately with his horses, Al.
Yep.
My.
Yep.
Now we'd like to see the same with his hockey club. Gretzky told me, he said, listen, people are underrating our club. We have a very, very good team, and they are playing one great period of defensive hockey and offensive hockey, both ways here in the first period.
2.5 minutes to go in the first period. 1-0 Los Angeles. This is Sandstrom taking the puck at center ice, but he loses it. And Otto sends it cross ice for action, but Huddy is there to swipe it out to the neutral zone and then back in by the Flames as the teams change on the fly. Huddy sending it up along the far board, picked up by Zhitnik, the rookie. All the way in his shot from out in front, saved by Vernon. Otto collects it, sends it up to Theron Fleury. He's got Dole with him on the right side. Leaves it for Dole. He goes into the corner, loses the puck. Otto in behind the net. Ronnie Stern can't handle it, comes out to the point. Suter sends it in very wide. And it's picked up now by Donnelly. And Donnelly sends it all the way down into the Calgary zone, and an icing call. 1:40 to go in the first period. Wayne Gretzky and the Kings on top, 1-0. The Dodge intermission report after the first period. Scores and highlights, and a live interview with number 99, who has said that he was very concerned. He thought it could be career-ending when his back injury was diagnosed. He got 6 opinions. 3 doctors said surgery. 3 said no surgery. He opted for no surgery. Didn't know what would happen, and by the early part of January, he was able to get back into the lineup.
The herniated thoracic disc high in the spine, and if they had to do surgery, they had to go through the front of his body to do the surgery, and he said, wore a back brace for 25 games, got rid of it, just hated the thing, and he's back.
1:35 remaining in the opening period. Kings on top. Granato skating all the way in. Yanni is there with him, and Roberts takes it away.
Penalty upcoming to Dahlquist. He took the shot on goal in the King zone, missed the net, was hit. Then he got up and took down one of the King players. So it's an offensive zone penalty, and the Kings will get their second power play of the period. They were 0 for 1 and never got close to really getting anything going. 2 shots, but nothing of the quality variety. Good aggressive hit right there on Dahlquist. Now let Dahlquist get up on Shuchuk, pull his stick, yank it right out of his arm. That's the penalty. Tough to play hockey without the stick. So you see why the penalty and why Dahlquist is in the zone. If Shuchuk does not take the body, he ends up not creating a power play for his team. Great play.
It comes with 1:26 remaining in the period, so it would carry over for 34 seconds into the second if the Kings don't score. L.A. on top 1-0. If you joined us late, the first shot of the game, 16 seconds in by Darryl Sador, the L.A. rookie, has been the only scoring in the period. The Kings have outshot the Flames 8-5.
Al, if the Kings set up again, let's see if Gretzky tries to go in behind Mike Vernon's goal, and the Kings know he's there, and the Kings will just fire the puck blind. Just find Gretzky knowing that he'll be there waiting for the puck, and if he gets to behind the goal, watch out.
Gretzky and Otto on the face-off, and again, it's Otto winning the face-off and sending it all the way down into the L.A. zone.
When you have all these Otto-Gretzky matchups, Otto should win the majority of the draws because he's so much bigger and stronger. The face-off, not a strength of the Kings. It is definitely a strength for Calgary.
This is Gretzky sending it over to Sandstrom. He leaves it for Robitallie. Luke in behind the net has it taken away. And Zhitnik is able to keep it in at the blue line. And then Gretzky tried to get it behind the net to Robitallie, intercepted by the Flames and cleared the length of the ice. 45 seconds remaining in the period. The Kings on the power play leading 1-0, and again taken by the Flames in the neutral zone and flipped all the way in by Dahl. McSorley back to start the Kings up ice. Up ahead, this is Corey Millen. Millen skating in with Donnelly. Gets it to Donnelly. Donnelly in behind the net and falls down, and Dahl then takes it away. Dahl up to Ashton. He clears the zone. 22 seconds remaining. Now Suter comes in over the blue line, but we've got a whistle.
Theo Fleury is going to be called for a big body check right at center ice. He thinks he's getting the penalty, but actually he's not.
It is Dahl who's going to get the penalty.
So Calgary will be 2 men short. Wow, you see that. 59, make that 19.4 seconds to go in the period. And Dahl, who threw a heavy body check on the far boards, has been given a minor, and Los Angeles now will be able to finish this period with a 2-man advantage. On the far side of the ice, Dahl, this is Fleury. That was not called. Fleury thought he was getting a penalty for that particular play. It was prior to that along the boards when Dahl threw a real hard hit into the boards that he was given the penalty.
The Kings with a 2-man advantage for the remainder of the period. That's 19 seconds. If they don't score, it would carry over for 35 seconds as you see Tony Granato on the Kings bench.
He's going right at Theo Fleury. 2 agitating players in Fleury, number 14 for Calgary, and Tony Granato, number 21 for Los Angeles. They are starting to battle. The subplots are starting to grow here as this series begins.
And they will over the next week and a half, even 2 weeks if it goes 7. Flames able to clear the zone under 10 seconds now as the Kings with Zhitnik in over the blue line, leaving it for Robitallie. Gretzky has to send it in from the point with 1 second remaining on the clock, and that's the end of the first period. So the Kings score on the first shot of the game, and that's the only scoring in the first period. Barry Melrose coaching his first ever Stanley Cup game. Dave King coaching his as well, and Los Angeles leads by a score of 1-0. And we'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Oh, Wayne Gretzky, he's on top of his game, and when he gets on top of his game, not very often does he get stopped.
Kings in black on top. The Kings with a 2-man advantage for the next 27 seconds, and then a 1-man advantage for the next minute plus. So the Kings skating 5-on-3. Gretzky tried to get it over to the left side, but gets the puck back off Yanni's stick to Sandstrom. He sends it up the middle to Zhitnik, who fakes the slap shot, circles in, deflected in front, sends it back to the point. 5 seconds remaining in the 2-man advantage. Sandstrom over to Gretzky. His shot is saved by Vernon. Back it comes to Wayne. 1 man out of the box. That's a 1-man advantage now. Sandstrom's shot is saved, cleared by Calgary. Kings with a 1-man advantage for the next 55 seconds.
We talked during the first period, the Flames love to block shots. They did block 1, and 3 different players ended up dropping down, forcing Los Angeles not to shoot, but to try and make the extra pass.
Kings 5 on 4. Flames send it all the way down again. 40 seconds remaining in the power play. First minute, second period, 1-0 Los Angeles. Millen sends it to Granato. He circles in his own end. Tony in over the blue line. Loses the puck. Musil backhands it into the LA end. 20 seconds left in the penalty. Kings with one last rush. Jari Kurri sends it into the corner. Vernon sends it along the boards, and we've got a whistle.
And a penalty.
And a penalty coming up.
The goaltender cannot put the puck directly into the stands. If he fires the puck and it hits either an opposition player or ricochets off the glass into the stands, it's an okay play. But Mike Vernon had a puck that was rolling. He chopped at it with his goal stick. The puck went immediately into the stands, and right away he's been assessed a 2-minute minor. You'll see the puck here go to Vernon, and he'll just slap at it. Well, straight up. Doesn't touch anything or anybody, so it's a penalty.
The delay of game penalty is the official designation. The Kings will have a two-man advantage, but for only 6 seconds, and then a man advantage for 1:54.
See, if the puck is rolling here, yes, it is. That's the reason why it went right into the stands. And you see Donnelly, the referee, in that case, at least trying to get the referee to make sure the call's made. It was. I don't like that rule. I think it's an unfair rule to goaltenders. You see defensemen do it all the time, and they're never called. But it is a rule, and that's the end of that.
For those of you who missed the open and don't know who John Davidson is, he is a former goaltender. And a good one. Kick save and a beauty. That's where it started, right?
That's right. Right in New York.
Barry Melrose replaced Tom Webster. Webster had coached the team for 3 years. Kings, in the last 3 seasons, have been eliminated from the playoffs by the Edmonton Oilers. But that old nemesis is gone. The Oilers not in the playoffs this year. Right now, just trying to get by Calgary, and the winner of this series faces the winner of the Vancouver-Winnipeg series. Donnelly's shot saved by Vernon as the penalty expires, the first penalty, and now the Kings will have a one-man advantage for the next 1:54. Let's take a look at the Smythe Division standings. That's the way the teams wound up. Vancouver won the division for the second time in a row with 101 points. Then the Flames, who finished 5th last year, finished 2nd. The Kings with 88 points. That was 11th best in the league with 24 teams. Calgary had the 9th best record. Winnipeg a point behind. So what it means in the playoffs, 2 plays 3, Calgary and LA, 1 plays 4, Vancouver and Winnipeg. And there it is, Vancouver and Winnipeg start their series tomorrow night at the Pacific Coliseum. Home ice advantage, of course, to Vancouver for winning the division. Here's McSorley. Kings on the power play. His slap shot is blocked by Ranheim and sent out.
Block shots again. Otto was beaten on the draw, on the face-off by Corey Millen cleanly. But again, Calgary blocked shots. And the Kings power play has got to get used to that here. They haven't dealt with it well so far. They've got to find a way to either fake the shot, allow the Flame player to go down and move around him, or get the shot up over top of the body as it slides down. Again, Millen won the draw clean, beating Otto. Otto is a great face-off man, but watch Millen beat him. Now watch the shot by McSorley and the players go down. There. You've got to get the shot up over top of the sliding players. Either that or fake it and go around them.
Melrose's Kings with a man advantage for the next 1:36. The penalty to Vernon being served by Brent Ashton. Long shot in on Rudy, and Kelly makes an easy save. His 6th of the game. Now Zhitnik sends it up to Gretzky. Gretzky skating in with Kurri and Sandstrom. Kurri's shot is wide. Robitallie can't control, and the Flames clear the puck. 1:10 remaining in the penalty. Ranheim in the corner. Strapping for it was Zhitnik. Picked up by Skrudland. Skrudland has it taken off his stick by Kurri. A minute now remaining in the penalty. Kurri tries to send it in. Fleury got his stick on it to knock it down. And Suter starts back in. For Calgary, skates by Kurri, out in front and scores! Gary Suter, one of the best offensive defensemen in the league, and you can see why. He scored 23 goals during the regular season, gets by Kurri, and ties the game on a shorthanded goal.
A fake shot, and if you'll notice, it's a forward that he went around. He went around Jari Kurri, who plays the point on the power play because of the injury to Rob Blake. And Suter blew right around him, moved right in and scored on the backhand. Now here, you'll see the puck not get put deep by Kurri. If the puck goes deep, the Kings are okay. Suter controls the puck and goes around Kurri, who's not used to playing defense. And we're tied at 1. A shorthanded goal and a real boost to the Flames.
Jitnik got there late, so the Flames tie it. Still 35 seconds remaining in the Calgary penalty. It comes out to McSorley at the point. Marty has his pass deflected. It's Sador from up the middle, sending it in. It's blocked in front. The puck is loose, and the rebound, and the Kings score. Jimmy Carson from out in front.
Dave King wanted a whistle. He thought the puck was out of view of the referee. He wanted a whistle, and he's upset. However, the Kings come right back and score a power play goal. Sador gets his second point. He'll get an assist on this play. No one knew where the puck was. It's loose, dug out by Carson, and he jams it in behind Mike Vernon. The Flames still complaining, saying, why didn't you blow the whistle? The puck was out of sight. However, Carson very diligently reached in, pulled the puck loose. Now look at the Flames all go to the two black jerseys in front, all standing there. Here comes Carson. Dig it out, jam it, right through the legs of Mike Vernon. Quickly, Los Angeles regains the lead.
Not out of Barwelli's sight, so after giving up a goal on the power play, the Kings score as Dave Taylor's shot, a save, comes back out to center ice. Taylor's shot, I believe, hit the post, and then Taylor gets it to Huddy, who scores. Charlie Huddy puts it in, and the Kings are on top 3-1. So the Flames get the big emotional break on a shorthanded goal, but the Kings, seconds later, take the lead again and now go up by 2 on the road.
The Kings show that they can face some adversity here. And you see the shot, quickly 3-1. The Flames having trouble here at the blue line, missing body checks and missing assignments. A person should not be that wide open. And bingo, it's 3-1 in favor of Los Angeles. They had adversity for the first time in the game with Suter scoring a shorthanded goal. They looked at it squarely, battled through it with 2 quick goals.
16:15 remaining in the second period. 3-1, Los Angeles. Suter to catch you up on the goals and assists. Suter shorthanded goal with the assist of Fleury. Carson's goal, a power play goal, Shuchuk and Sador getting the assist. And then on Huddy's goal, Taylor and Reichel get the assist. Back in a moment. Back in Calgary, Luke Robitallie controlling the puck for the Kings for the moment behind the Calgary net, but the Flames come back the other way with Ranheim skating in with Otto. Leaves it for Joel Otto. His shot is deflected, and back comes Gretzky. He's got Sandstrom on the right wing, Robitallie on the left. Luke chases it down in the corner. Checked by Dahl. Gretzky trying to pry it loose. Gretzky trying to kick it out to the point, but back come the Flames. With Otto sending it over for Dahl. By him, but Ashton is there to collect it, to send it into the corner. A little more than 15 minutes to go in the second period. The Kings scoring 2 goals in 24 seconds and leading 3-1.
You can see Gretzky's 32 years of age. His shifts are not nearly as long as what they used to be when he was a younger player. But right now, they are just as effective.
This is Gary Roberts, checked by Huddy, into Nieuwendyk. Skates in, Nieuwendyk with a nice pass, but Ronnie Stern's shot deflected off to the right. Flames with Roberts, scrapping behind the net. Roberts, who missed 2 months after thigh surgery, had a hematoma on his thigh, and came back and played for the first time in 2 months the other night. He's number 10, and a very potent force if he can get it together for the Flames before this series is over. Now Suter comes in, along with Roberts. Suter looking out in front, and Nieuwendyk couldn't get wood on the puck as it comes back to the near side. Stern sends it around the boards. Collected by McSorley, sent up ahead to Jari Kurri. Kurri dropping it for Donnelly. Kurri hits the post. Vernon scrambles, got spun around,
covers up. You can certainly understand the game plan with Los Angeles. Joe Nieuwendyk set up a scoring chance in the Flames zone. Los Angeles just countered, came right up the ice, and with their run-and-gun style, had a beautiful, beautiful passing play. Kurri drops it. Now he'll get into shooting position. He'll take the pass back from Donnelly, and there's the shot that catches the outside of the goalpost. Great pass work, good speed game. This is that play prior to it. Nieuwendyk with a beautiful pass. And Ronnie Stern could not redirect the puck up over top of Kelly Hrudey. Look at Kurri was one of the best and still is one of the best shooters off the pass. Does not have to stop the puck before he shoots it.
On ESPN, with blanket Stanley Cup coverage on Tuesday, you'll see New Jersey against Pittsburgh. This is the first of 5 Sundays that ABC will be covering Stanley Cup action. ESPN with much of the rest, and we'll be back with you on ABC next Sunday from the Forum. The game will start at noon. That's Game 4. The Kings and the Flames. Game 3 is in L.A. on Friday night. Game 2 back here at the Saddle Dome on Wednesday night. L.A. on top, 3-1. 14 minutes to play in the second period. This is Trent Yawney. Sending it in behind the Kings net. Marty McSorley. Leaving it for Hardy. Now to Kurri. Kurri sends it along the boards. Vernon is there to stop it. Gets it up ahead for Johansson. To Reichel, but he has it intercepted by Millen. Now Donnelly sends it back to McSorley. McSorley's shot is off the back of Yawney's leg, but Marty is there to collect it. Send it in front, and he scores. It bounced off maybe the back of Vernon's leg and was redirected into the net. Marty McSorley, with no angle at all, sent it out in front, and the Kings lead by a score of 4-1.
The puck may have gone off one of the defensemen standing in front, too. You'll see the puck being put in front. The defenseman Dahlquist trying to take his man out of the play, which he did, was not even watching, and I believe the puck hit his leg and right back in the net. Yes. And McSorley will get credit. This will be 3 goals by Los Angeles defensemen to this point, which is incredible. When you think of all their scoring power with their forwards, the defensemen have scored 3 of the 4 goals.
Sador got him started. Huddy. And now this last one, McSorley getting credit for an unassisted goal at 6:36. So it's become a very quiet crowd at the Olympic Saddledome. More than 20,000 looking on as the Kings lead 4-1.
The Kings have a total of 17 Stanley Cup rings. McSorley has 2 of them. And maybe with that influence, they've been able to come out here in Calgary to start the series on this Sunday afternoon and have a very calm feeling about the game, because they've certainly been the better of the 2 teams. And I don't mean just because it's 4-1, but they've been better all over the place. They've been better passing the puck, moving the puck, and they have not had to rely on Kelly Hrudey. He made 1 great save to close the first period against Ronnie Stern, a catching glove save. But the best players for Calgary have not been able to beat the Kings defensemen to this point.
All of those rings to which John alluded were earned by the Kings when they played with the Edmonton Oilers. And you're talking about McSorley, Kurri, and Huddy, and Gretzky, and even Pat Conacher was there one year when the Oilers won the Stanley Cup in '84.
Huddy with 5, Kurri with 5, Gretzky with 4, McSorley 2, and Patty Conacher was born in Edmonton, has 1.
Huddy tries to clear it, but it's kept in by Strudlin, chased down by Berube. Berube tries to kick it over to Pazlowski, but regains control and then is ridden off the play. Taylor's scrapping for it and sends it out to center ice. 12.5 minutes to play in the second period. Calgary, after tying the game on a shorthanded goal, now see themselves trailing by 3. Strudlin was able to intercept the puck, but he lost the stick. He lost his stick, so he couldn't do anything with it. That shot is wide from the point.
Remember, he has a fractured thumb, 5 different places. He doesn't have the strength in his hands that he would like, and I suspect that's why he was unable to control his stick to make the play. It was pulled right out of his hands.
That kind of a period for Calgary to get a breakaway, and the guy doesn't have his stick. 12 minutes to go. Second period, 4-1 Kings in Game 1 of this best-of-7 Smythe Division Semi-Finals. Charlie Huddy, the one-time Oiler, has it flipped off the stick of Ashton up into the Kings bench. whistle and a stoppage of play, and we'll be back in a moment.
Puck. It's against the rules. But Skrudland had no choice. I'm convinced, though, Skrudland has been fit for a playing cast because of the fractured thumb. And that thumb, by the way, and putting it back together, was held together with some wires and some screws in there. He's been able to play and play in pain, but without having the full strength, you can certainly see the strength is not there. And that's a learning experience for Sador, who has a goal in the game. You can't be sloppy. It's called, if you're the last man back, don't mess with a puck. And he was the last man for Los Angeles back in his zone. He messed with a puck, and it nearly cost his team.
But the team's got a break. Remain up by 3. Zhitnik sending it into the corner. 11:40 remaining in the second period in Calgary. Kings on top 4-1. Ashton sends it into the corner. Zhitnik tries to clear it. Ranheim keeps it in to Ashton. He tries to center it. It's broken up, and back come the Kings, coming the other way. Sandstrom on the right wing. Leaves it for Gretzky. Gretzky, cross ice. Robitallie shot. Save and covered up. Coming up following hockey, the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. At the conclusion of the game, through the streets of Long Beach, California they go, so stick around. That's assuming this game ends in regulation. If you don't follow hockey that closely in the regular season, if the game winds up tied at the end of regulation, they play a 5-minute sudden death overtime. And if nobody scores after 5 minutes of play, it winds up as a tie. In the playoffs, we could be here through Good Morning America. I mean, they just play and they play.
I think I'd enjoy that.
Yeah. Well, Kelly Rudy knows what that's like. Yeah. He played in that 4 overtime beauty between the Islanders and Washington in 1987 and came out on the winning end with 73 saves.
Los Angeles had only one team give up more shots per game, allow more shots against in the entire team and in the entire league. And here, through nearly halfway through this game, they've allowed 7 shots against. It's a remarkable story.
Outscored them 15-7. Dominating the game. This is Roberts skating in. Gets by McSorley, but Rudy is there to save it. And it's swept out by Granato. And a penalty is coming up.
It'll be an icing call, I think, Al. At every opportunity, the Kings goaltender, Kelly Rudy, is getting roughed up by the Flames. They're trying to get him off his game. Gary Roberts just did it again.
Right. They waved off the icing. And this is Sador intercepting at center ice and sending it back in. Vernon to stop it. Millen and Dahl behind the net. Back out to Sador. He hits the goalpost after Vernon got a piece of it. The puck is loose. The shot is wide. Roberts collects it and takes the pressure off, sending it out to center ice. 10 minutes to go. We're halfway through the second period, halfway through regulation. 4-1 Kings. Roberts sends it all the way down the ice, but off the stick of one of the Kings, so there's no icing, and Sador is back to collect it. He sends it up to Robitallie. Robitallie skating in with Kurri behind him. He gets checked at the blue line, and Fleury takes it away. Up ahead to Reichel. Reichel was Calgary's leading goal scorer. He had 40 this season. MacInnis now. MacInnis has been barely a factor in the game thus far. Fleury in over the blue line. To Reichel. To Fleury. His shot deflected. Rudy with a save off the rebound. Loose puck in front. And a whistle. And it's Darren Fleury, as is the case very often, at the bottom of the pile and involved in the scrap.
It's a very interesting shift for Los Angeles. Gretzky's on the bench, and Jari Kurri's at center ice, where Gretzky normally is. With wingers, Sandstrom and Robitallie, not too much happens here as the players are separated. Theo Fleury, the Kings love to get him off his game, especially Marty McSorley. He's very good at agitating the smaller Fleury, who is a skilled player, had 100 points on the season. Nearly 5-1 as the shot by Sador is redirected through the legs, goal post. Now Donnelly goes in behind the goal here, and he caught a stick, I believe, or got smashed right in the face. See him reach up? He stayed down behind the play, did not draw a penalty, and there he's trying to check out a little. Thanks, Mike, for joining us. Just a little scratch on the inside of the lip, nothing serious. look like they're all right. Oh, hell, no problem.
No sutures, no problem.
Easy for us to say.
Krugman and Conacher on the draw. Kept in by MacInnis at the point. Now Sador has it. In the corner, Granato chases it down.
Krugman just took another penalty.
Yes.
He's being way too aggressive. He put his elbow right into the face of the King player, and you can't be getting that aggressive in the offensive zone when your team's down 4-1. A bad penalty.
King power play coming up, and we'll go to New York for the moment. And John Saunders.
Well, the Penguins off to a good start, trying to win their third straight Stanley Cup. Del Samuelson with a nice move there. Then in front, he spots Yager. He knocks this one in. 6-1 at that point. They win 6-3, leading 1-0. Alan John.
No surprise there, but a mild surprise here. On the road, the Kings on top 4-1, and with a man advantage now with Strudlin in the box.
One of the things Calgary did during this regular season was knock off the penalty minutes from a year ago. But this type of stuff, an elbow right to the head, and that's the second penalty Strudlin's taken by putting his elbows up high. That's the problem. It's against the rules, and it's hurting Calgary right now. See the Pat Conacher staying in behind, and that was Kozlowski skating by, giving Huddy a shot. Calgary, a very disciplined team during the regular season, showing right here that they're frustrated, and the Kings are taking advantage of it.
Robitallie from his knees gets it to Sandstrom. He fakes the shot, then gets the shot away, and Vernon is able to direct it into the corner. McSorley at the point, barely able to keep it in. Sends it in behind the net. Here's Robitallie. Gretzky sends it back out to Zitnik. Gretzky again. Zitnik's shot is wide. McSorley is able to get there to keep it in the corner. Centering pass. Nobody is there. And here come the Flames. Ranheim sends it to Otto. Back to Ranheim. McSorley gets it for the Kings. Up ahead to Gretzky. Gretzky leaving it for Schuchuk. And Calgary brings it back the other way. Then Scooter loses the puck momentarily at center ice, but Ashton gets it back. Kurri chases it down with Zitnik. 8 minutes to go in the period. 4-1 L.A. Crowd wanted a penalty as Zitnik and Kurri went down. Marawali says no. The door. Playing give and take with Granato. Now over to Schuchuk. Schuchuk skating in on the left wing. Swept aside by Yawney. Back out to the point now. Sador able to keep it in. Out in front to Huddy. His shot is deflected high in the air and into about the 9th row.
Remember the short-handed goal Suter scored? He went around that man, Jari Kurri, who was playing the point on the power play. Here with the 4-1 lead, Los Angeles is making sure they're playing defenseman on the point on the power play, not a forward just in case. Why give Calgary a chance to beat a forward playing back on defense and climb back into the hockey game? So you're seeing Barry Melrose, the rookie coach, doing a pretty good job. This is Theo Fleury working in behind the net. You can see the leg drive of Zitnik knocking Fleury down. Zitnik is a strong young kid from what was the Soviet Union, and these young kids from over there have the big thighs, and when they hit people, it's a leg drive, and the power comes from their legs, like a linebacker in football, or a lineman holding off the opposition lineman. The leg drive, the power, and he certainly showed it on that shift.
Joel Otto and the Calgary Flames. It's been a thoroughly frustrating first 32 minutes for them in the opening game of the best-of-7 Smythe Division Semi-Finals. Dave King, the Canadian national team coach for several years, coached in 3 Olympics, coached Canada to silver medal at the Olympics in 1992 in Albertville. And he was a very popular choice to succeed Doug Risebrough as the coach. Meanwhile, we've got a penalty coming up on the Kings as Darryl Sador is going to go off for 2 minutes.
He tried to hold up. Knowing his team was on the power play, he tried to interfere, holding up the forechecker, standing in front of the Flame player, allowing his defense partner to get the puck without being aggravated on the play. He ended up tripping up the Flame player, and the teams will be at even strength for 18 seconds. Then it will be a Calgary power play, and they need one.
Strudlin will come out of the box for the Flames in 18 seconds, and then a power play for the Calgary Flames, who trail 4-1. Second game here on Wednesday, third game Los Angeles Friday. Fourth game as we mentioned before, on ABC next Sunday afternoon at noon Pacific time. Winner of this series advancing to the Smythe Division Finals with Vancouver and Winnipeg meeting in Game 1 tomorrow. And there's the schedule for this series. And with the home ice advantage, a 7th game would be played here in Calgary on Saturday, the 1st of May.
You look at Calgary only getting 3 shots on goal so far here in the second period. They don't have a game breaker. They don't have a 50-goal scorer. And certainly with Los Angeles leading 4-1, the Flames look and they hope that a guy like Reichel, who had 40 goals during the season, may get it going. Roberts had 38, but he's coming back from an injury. Nieuwendyk had 38. He's got to get going. It doesn't look good for Calgary. LA has played a great game to this point.
Team at equal strength for the next few seconds, and then Calgary with the man advantage. This is Donnelly. Sends it over to Charlie Huddy. Huddy up ahead to Donnelly. Donnelly skates in. His shot is wide off the back of the net. The penalty is over. Calgary with a man advantage now for the next 135. Reichel leaves it for MacInnis. His shot off Rudy's shoulder. Kurri can't control it. McSorley takes possession and sends it up ahead to Corey Millen. Back come the Flames. Reichel backhands it around the boards. Huddy behind the Los Angeles net. Tries to kick it loose. Kurri is there scrapping for it. Sends it to Suter at the point. Over to MacInnis. His slap shot is wide. 1:05 left in the penalty. This is MacInnis again. MacInnis sent it into Reichel. Reichel shooting wide of the net and in behind the net, and the Kings now able to clear the zone as Millen comes back the other way. Millen skating in with Donnelly. Millen with a slap shot. Hits the post.
Los Angeles is challenging Mike Vernon low. Almost every shot that's hit the post has been near the ice surface, 4 or 5 inches off the ice. They have really challenged through 2 periods the feet of Mike Vernon. Sometimes coaches tell their players, when we go against this goaltender, here's where we want you to put the puck. And it looks like the Kings players are trying to shoot low.
Kings doing an excellent job trying to kill this penalty with 15 seconds remaining in the penalty. This is Roberts now to Paslowski. Back to Johansson. Hardy couldn't break it up. Robertson behind the net. 3 seconds remaining in the penalty. Roberts goes down. Paslowski in the corner. The penalty is over. The team's skating at equal strength.
Another penalty.
Another penalty coming up here.
It'll be a hooking call once again. Los Angeles will be shorthanded. Wayne Gretzky has not seen the ice in a while, and looking down, he's not on the bench either, and you have to wonder what that's all about. He had a fabulous first period. He was on the ice quite a bit during the early portions of the second period. We haven't seen him since. There's the hook by Waters as Roberts made a great turnaround play to force Waters to reach out with a stick, draw him down, and the Flames get another chance in the power play.
Tim Waters sent off with 5:20 remaining in the second period. Kings on top 4-1. Kings led 1-0 after 1. Flames tied it on a shorthanded goal here in the second. And then the Kings with 3 quick goals. LA penalty killing down near the bottom.
Of the 16 teams left in the National Hockey League race, 16 teams in this tournament, Los Angeles is ranked 16th of those teams in penalty killing, but they've been good here. You know, you look at this, it's 4-1 Calgary, 4-1 Los Angeles, and Los Angeles has hit the post 5 different times. Every one of those goal posts that they've hit has been a low shot.
The Kings are the only team of the 16 in the playoffs to have given up more goals than they scored this season. They gave up 2 more than they scored, which tells you a lot about the way LA normally plays.
And that tells you why they call the playoffs a brand new season.
Yes,
because you're seeing a different team on the ice right here. However, Gretzky is not around. We'll try and find out what the problem is.
Kings able to clear the zone. Calgary with a man advantage with under 5 minutes to play now in the second period and 1:35 left on the penalty. This is Otto trying to send it to Suter at the point, but intercepted by Jari Kurri.
Kurri skates in, but McSorley was offside on the right wing. And there'll be a face-off with 1:21 remaining in the penalty. The report we are now getting is a Charlie horse has put Wayne Gretzky behind that door. He is back in the Kings dressing room.
So that definitely will be ice pack time. Try to numb and freeze up the area that's bothering Wayne. And I don't know, obviously, how bad it is, but it'll be interesting to see if he can make it back. Calgary here will practice tomorrow and prepare to move along in the playoffs. Los Angeles will take their team and head to Banff, Alberta. Banff is the Aspen of Canada. And there, Barry Melrose will be able to work with his team with quiet surroundings. Now, though, this whole series could take a complete turnaround with an injury to one player. And if Wayne Gretzky is injured badly, certainly a new look, even though Los Angeles has a 4-1 lead here.
That's my kind of organization. 2 off days in Banff. Leave it to McNall. Here's Suter skating in over the blue line. A minute remaining in the Calgary power play. Reichel sends it into Fleury. Fleury loses the puck, and L.A. able to clear it out as Granato sends it down to Vernon. 50 seconds remaining in the penalty. Bruce McNall, the Kings owner, watching his team ahead by 3, but he has to have some concern about Wayne Gretzky and the condition of number 99. This is Yorny from out in front. Yorny's shot saved by Rudy. Yorny tries to get the rebound. Kings are able to clear it out. 27 seconds remaining now in the penalty.
The Gretzky situation, he could have been hit in the first period and tried to continue to play. And the Charlie horse situation, the pie will tighten up as time moves along. And maybe he came out, tried it in the second period. His last shift was an offside play when Sandstrom got hit. And he never played another one after that.
Fleury skates all the way in. Fleury got off a weak shot, covered up by Rudy.
Kelly Rudy hasn't had much work. You can make a call on the phone, get Dan Deerdorf here. He can play goal. That's how much work that Kelly Rudy's had to this point. The Kings have been that good defensively on the road. 3:25 to go in the second period. They've given up only 11 shots and very few good ones.
Only if you teach them how to skate. I mean, that is essential, isn't it?
Park at a couple of guys, and that'll be the end of it.
Flames on this power play have gotten off only 1 shot. 5 seconds left in the penalty to Tim Waters. 3:25 remaining in the second period. The Kings on top 4-1.
During the regular season, Boston gave up the fewest shots per game at 26. Los Angeles gave up 34.4. They are on pace right now to allow Calgary approximately 16, 17 shots. They've cut their normal game average in half right now. And Kelly Rudy has to be enjoying that fact.
5 seconds left in the power play. And the puck comes over the boards with 1 second remaining now in the power play. Here's a reminder for you that next Saturday, the Firestone Tournament of Champions. Great tournament, Akron, Ohio, with Chris Schenkel and Bo Burton, as always, calling the roll-by-roll. 3 o'clock Pacific time, and then the World Gymnastics Championships from Birmingham, England, featuring Shannon Miller and others next Saturday on Wide World. Power play is over. Teams are at equal strength. Rudy can't cover up. And it's Musil keeping it in. It is sent in by Stern. Blocked in front. McSorley can't clear it. Ashton controls over to Strudlin. Conacher staying with Strudlin behind the net. Huddy is there with Stern. Under 3 minutes to play now in the second period. And the Flames able to dig it out, but only momentarily. Now it's Stern. Checked by McSorley, and we've got another penalty coming up. A penalty coming up on McSorley as we've got a couple of scraps now breaking out. Marawelli signaling the penalty, so the Flames are going to have another opportunity. They were unable to take advantage of their last power play opportunity.
is good shouldn't be kept all bottled up. For great taste that's less filling, Miller Lite is everything you want a beer to be.
Chrysler Corporation has sold over 3 million minivans, 28 of which were bought by other car makers like Nissan, Toyota, and Ford. Maybe they were hoping to take our ideas and somehow improve on them. Their work has led to one sobering conclusion. Anybody can take apart the world's best-selling minivans. Only one company can put them together.
Pat Conacher, who was raised here in Calgary, was awarded the unsung hero by his teammates during the last Los Angeles home game in this type of work. He's working Skrudland, a very aggressive forward. You see the battle in front. You see the sticks up. And there you know why Los Angeles has the 4-1 lead and why Pat Conacher is admired by his teammates. McSorley took a penalty. It's a Flames power play once again.
Holding penalty. Kings leads 4-1. Suter can't keep it in. This is Fleury now. And
Suter will go.
Another penalty. Suter's going to go off. So the Flames, who need a power play goal to get back in it, to get them reignited, squander a man advantage, and it takes them only 12 seconds to do it.
See Suter with the hook, yanks Kurri Millen backwards, and this evens things up. The Calgary Flames have played a very sloppy game to this point. They've had no offensive flow. Their power play hasn't been good. They've been taking bad penalties all game long. Dave King talks about 3 things. Penalty killing, and that's been pretty good for them. Discipline, it hasn't been visible at all. It's been awful. And defense, their team defense has not been very good either.
Kings on top, 4-1. Again, the Flames won the Stanley Cup in '89, but in 1990, they were eliminated in the first round by the Kings. They went out in the first round in '91. Edmonton sent them home, and then last year they didn't even make the playoffs. They finished 5th in the Smythe.
You wonder if that's the reason why Calgary's uptight here. All these players who have experience, but last season weren't in the playoffs. First game, maybe the emotions got to them. Maybe they got uptight. But they have been blitzed by the Kings. Jari Kurri getting a lot more ice time now that Wayne Gretzky's gone with a thigh injury. He's playing center ice. He's killing penalties more, and that's a nice option to have.
Team skating 4-on-4.
Another penalty coming up. This time Al MacInnis was hooked from behind, and we're seeing, in my mind, a lot of lazy penalties. Hooking penalties generally mean that players have stopped skating and reached out with their stick and pulled the player from behind. And you see MacInnis going, you see the hook, the stick there from Sandstrom. So all of a sudden, from what was a 5-on-4, a few seconds later has become a 4-on-3. Barry Melrose, his club was shorthanded 529 times during the regular season, the most of any team.
Little history for you. April 14th, 1990, one of the great wins in King history and one of the most agonizing losses in Flames history. Mike Krushelnyski scoring in overtime after the Flames thought they had won the game earlier on a disallowed goal by Doug Gilmour, and that sent the Flames home the year after they had won the Stanley Cup in the first round. So Sandstrom off for 2 minutes. McSorley in the box for another 1:16. And the Flames have Suter in the box for another 1:18, and Sandstrom just goes off for Los Angeles. So a 4-on-3 for Calgary for the next minute and 15 seconds. A backhander by Fleury, loose in front, then covered up, and a stoppage with 1:51 left in the period.
Again, we mentioned that Fleury had 100 points in the season. He squirted away from Kurri off the face-off, chased down the puck. Now watch him chase the puck down, squirt right in behind everybody, and backhand the puck against the grain. And Kelly Rudy had to reach out, make a good kick save, and then found a way to get the rebound. Again, good defensive checking by Jari Kurri on Nieuwendyk after Kurri had lost the draw. Look at the headbutting right here. Kurri and Nieuwendyk had their helmets butting one another. That's when the linesman just jumped in. I'll see if they butt again. No, and Nieuwendyk is thrown out of the circle. Now the much smaller Fleury goes in. I don't think you'll get any headbutting here. Fleury's not tall enough.
But his abdomen.
But he gets his head underneath Kurri's head, and Kurri won't be able to see the puck when it's dropped.
last year.
All this happened, seconds tick off, and because of the hand pass, the face-off comes outside the zone. The hand pass was by the offensive player in the defensive zone, which is against the rules. A defensive player in his own zone is allowed to do that. So the face-off goes back outside. Calgary needs desperately to find a way to get some offense, and in particular, big shots by MacInnis, number 2, the defenseman.
Flames skating 4-on-3 for the next minute. Kurri trying to send it to MacInnis. The pass was too far. It comes back out to the point, and it's kept in by Kurri. A minute and a half to go in the period. Man advantage for the Flames, skating 4-on-3. Kurri sends it to MacInnis. His wrist shot is deflected wide from in front. 35 seconds left in the McSorley penalty. And MacInnis couldn't keep it in at the line. So another power play mistake by the Flames, and they have to try to get it started from their own end again. Reichel to Nieuwendyk, back out to the point now. MacInnis. McSorley comes out of the box in 12 seconds. MacInnis' slap shot is knocked down by Kurri, and Kurri is able to clear the zone. Now McSorley's going to come out in 1 second. He's out. They're at equal strength for the moment. And then the Flames will have a power play advantage for 32 seconds. 35 seconds left in the period. Here's Kurri to MacInnis. He one-times it, saved by Rudy. Here comes McSorley. Now the Flames with a man advantage again, skating 5-on-4 as Suter is out of the box and sent down into the Calgary end. 15 seconds remaining in the second period. So again, the Flames unable to take advantage of power play opportunities in the second period. Ranheim gets checked as he sends it in, and this will end the second period. A big one for the Kings, who outscore the Flames 3-1 in the second and lead 4-1 after 40 minutes of play. Rudy has 12 saves and has allowed 1 goal through 2 periods. Vernon, meanwhile, has 13 saves, and he's allowed 4 goals through 2 periods of action. The LA Kings trying to go up 1-0 in this series, leading at the end of 2. It is 4-1 Los Angeles, and we'll return to the Olympic Saddle Dome in Calgary after this message and a word from your ABC station.
Dodge Dakota Sport with an optional 180 horsepower Magnum V6 out-accelerates Ford and Chevy compacts and does it for under 10 grand. Unquote. Dodge, the most powerful line of trucks anywhere.
Get $500 cash back on new Dodge Dakotas.
To soar with eagles, be the best. To win the industry's highest awards for quality, commit to excellence. Provide superior quality products and have the strength to offer them at more than 12,500 locations nationwide. More than any other major brand. Discover for yourself the difference quality can make. Fly with the new superpower.
Sunday, a world television premiere. America's Queen of Comedy takes on the King.
Personal friends with the King, were you?
I'd like to continue Alfred's work.
You look as good as you did the day we met.
It's Roseanne, Tom, and of course the King, the woman who loved Elvis Sunday.
Fresno has Voyagers, the world's #1 family vans at world beater prices. Voyagers, Grand Voyagers, Town & Country, up to $2,600 in factory savings, plus big discounts. Family van prices are possibly the lowest you'll find anywhere. You could drive a V6 7-passenger 93 Voyager for only $14,799. Loaded with features, air, stereo, airbag. Save up to $2,600 right now at Central California's #1 volume dealer, Fresno Chrysler Plymouth. Voyager.
If you have been injured in an accident, you may have a legal right to money damages for medical bills, lost wages, and pain and suffering. I'm attorney Stanley Bauman of the law offices of Bauman & Rose, and we've been representing accident victims for 15 years. At Bauman & Rose, there are no attorney fees unless you receive payment for your injuries. Bauman & Rose will fight to protect your rights. Call me for your free consultation. Toll-free, 1-800-274-0075.
Dear Mida, as a woman, I often feel mechanics don't bother to talk to me.
You wouldn't understand.
But at Midas, when I explained that I did not have a lot of money, your inspection report was explained to me.
This shows you the repair options you can choose from.
Thanks for treating me as a person capable of understanding my car. Jane Robinson.
Dear Midas customers, buy one guaranteed shocker strut and get the second for 50% off. That's the Midas way, the way it should be.
A whole week of delicious recipes from Mr. Food beginning tomorrow on Action News midday.
Again to New York, ABC's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Calgary trailing at home against the L.A. Kings. The third period is straight ahead. But first, let's check elsewhere and show you scores and highlights from there. We'll start off in the Patrick Division. The defending Stanley Cup champions 2 years in a row, the Pittsburgh Penguins. They looked like it today. Mario Lemieux takes the feed from Stevens, kicks it to his stick, and finds home with this one. Lemieux with a big day once again. 2 goals and 2 assists. Pittsburgh wins it easily. 6-3 is the final there. Jari with a goal and 2 assists as well. St. Louis and Chicago, that in the Norris Division. In this one, it looked like it would be all Chicago, but after the tie by Shanahan, that was Brett Hull taking the feed from Emerson, and that gives St. Louis the lead after coming back from down 3-1, and Curtis Joseph did the rest. As the Hawks had their chances to tie this one, but Joseph stoned them, turns them away, and St. Louis comes up with the victory. 4-3 is the final. Ooh, could have been a penalty shot almost there. St. Louis winning over Chicago 4-3. They lead the series 1-0. Brian Noonan had the hat trick, first of his career, only 6 goals during the regular season, not enough though. And Brett Hull struggled against Chicago this year, but not on this day.
Well, it was a different play. It's really not a play that we use all the time, but Nelson Emerson, he's got such tremendous speed, and you know, Jeff Brown gave it to him from behind the net, and I just cleared the lane for him to go, and he took off, went all the way down behind their net and threw it out, and I just kind of found a seam, and it was right on my tape.
Blues with a 1-0 lead, and the L.A. Kings are looking to do the same against the Calgary Flames. They lead after 2 periods of play, 4-1. Charlie Huddy, part of the onslaught L.A. poured on in the second period.
My name's Lisa Mickelson, and I work for MCI.
I'm Wilma Knox.
I'm
Jonathan Shaw.
If you're thinking about joining MCI and Friends and Family,
This is the month to do it.
if you join this month, we'll give you a whole month.
Long-distance calls.
Free.
Absolutely free.
You can call as many times as you want.
Talk as long as you want.
Free. The basic word here. It's free.
It's up to $35 worth of free long distance. And at our low Friends and Family rate.
That's
a lot of calls.
If you've been thinking about joining MCI and Friends and Family, you picked a great month.
MCI and Friends and Family. There's never been a better time to join.
Ah, taking a break, are you? No break. Oh, you smell good.
Well, thank you.
Wearing something?
Just my deodorant.
Oh, that Suave Super Stick I got you.
Yeah.
You like the Suave, huh?
Yeah.
Good. It costs less than your other one.
Yeah, well, I think it works really well. Don't you think so? You're supposed to be paying attention to me right now.
How many women tell their husbands they smell good while they're cleaning out the garage?
Just one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Super Stick. When Suave works this well, why spend more?
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
Their sights are set. IndyCar's best are California dreaming as they take off the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. Today on ABC Sports.
Welcome back to New York. The third period is straight ahead, but first, a look ahead at what's up in the Stanley Cup playoffs in our playoff primer. The ultimate goal is to survive to raise the Stanley Cup, and later tonight and tomorrow, 10 more teams begin their quest to wrest the cup away from Mario Lemieux and the Penguins. In the Adams Division, the Boston Bruins enter the playoffs, having won 19 of their final 23. They host the Buffalo Sabres, who haven't won a playoff series since '83, but boast one of hockey's most dynamic tandems in Pat LaFontaine and Alexander Mogilny.
Basically, try and shut them down as best possible by, neutralizing them as soon as they come out of their end. You don't want guys like LaFontaine and Mogilny skating with the puck. They get great speed. They can move the puck really well, and that's where they can hurt you.
In the other Adams semi, the Nordiques and Canadiens will meet in the latest chapter of the Battle of Quebec. The rivalry stirs provincial emotions, and the Canadiens are well aware of the upstart Nordiques.
They're a contender, there's no doubt about that. They had a very good season, and I think the series is going to be very emotional, and a lot of people are waiting anxiously for this series to start, and so are we. I think everybody's excited.
In the Patrick, the New York Islanders won a showdown with New Jersey Friday and avoided the task of a first-round matchup with Pittsburgh. The Washington Capitals will be their opposition, another tough draw in a division that prepares teams for the postseason well before April.
I think the last 30 games have been like playoff games for a hockey club and for our young team. I think now the playoff games are not going to be a big difference for them because they've been under playoff situations for 30 games, so they've had their baptism under fire playoff-wise for the last 30 games, so it should help our club in the playoffs.
To the north, where center Doug Gilmour has keyed a revived Toronto team with an MVP-type season. They'll take on the Detroit Red Wings and the brilliant superstar Steve Yzerman tomorrow night. The Wings are riding a 14-3 run heading into the playoffs and may be just peaking at the right time.
I don't think there's any question we're in the best part of our year right now. We've done 9 of 10. We've had not only good wins, but real positive type play from a lot of important players on our team. I really feel good about the way the team has played. It's probably the best stretch without question over the last 3 years in Detroit.
In the Smythe, the Vancouver Canucks and Pavel Bure repeated their first-place finish of a year ago and open up with Winnipeg Monday. The Jets feature rookie Teemu Selanne, who tied for the league lead in goals but managed only a pair against the Canucks.
Our defensive game, when it's on, is very good, and that's a big factor in beating offensive teams like such as Winnipeg. We've checked Lanning very well, and if we do play physical, maybe that takes him off his game a little bit because he's an exceptional skater and he's got some great puck handling skills, obviously, and he can put the puck in the net.
Well, Pittsburgh has a win, St. Louis has a win, and the L.A. Kings trying to become the third team to take a 1-game-to-0 lead. We'll find out. We'll get to the third period in just a moment.
You've driven these streets 1,000 times. But tonight, there's something different. Tonight, you're using Exxon 93 Supreme gasoline for a cleaner engine, smooth acceleration, and a full 93 octane.
Let the tiger set you free.
Rely on Exxon Supreme.
Rely on the tiger.
What's exciting about the business, even though we've been in it now 30 years, we're still learning every day. We've made every mistake twice at least. We're always experimenting with new shapes and new forms, but I think that's part of the learning curve. I think that's part of the lesson of life, and certainly the lesson of retail. And I think that just the very fact that people can use their American Express card ends up creating an additional sale for the store.
American Express is welcome to Crate and Barrel, and plenty of places they pack them in.
Of the original.
reminder, after the hockey game, same-day coverage of the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. Then next week, back at noon Pacific time with regional live coverage of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. Back to the game after a word from our ABC station.
Charles Starkweather would do anything for fame.
Watch out, ladies and gentlemen, watch out.
Carol Ann Fugate was an innocent teenager.
Like you're the greatest.
For 2 weeks, they were the most wanted kids in America.
We've got a mad dog killer in our hands.
Oh, my God.
Based on a true story. Murder in the Heartland, Monday, May 3rd.
You can be driving a luxurious 1992 Lincoln Town Car for only $19,995. Or how about a 1992 Mercury Topaz on sale now for only $9,999?
Oil, the lifeblood of your engine. So the most vital organ is your oil filter. That's why you need Fram Extra Guard. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter. Fram Extra Guard, the best protection ever. If you've been hurt in an accident, call a lawyer that charges less than many other lawyers to handle your case. One you can call 24 hours a day. 1-800-LAW-TALK.
Entertainment tonight.
Today at 5, only on Channel 30. The National Hockey League playoffs have been brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. By Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And by the new Subaru Impreza. What to drive?
Michaels, John Davidson back in Calgary. Mark Jones will join us in a minute with an update on Wayne Gretzky's condition. At the end of the second period, the Kings lead 4-1, and this is the first game of the Smythe Division Semi-Finals. And for Los Angeles, they took the lead just 16 seconds into the game on a goal by Darryl Sador, the 20-year-old rookie, making it 1-0. That was all the scoring in the first period. In the second period, Calgary tied the game on a shorthanded goal by Gary Suter, but that was followed by a Jimmy Carson goal just seconds later to put L.A. on top 2-1. And then just a few seconds after that, Charlie Huddy made it 3-1. And at the 6:36 mark, Marty McSorley made it 4-1. So it's 4-1 L.A., end of 2. Let's get a report on Wayne Gretzky from Mark Jones. Mark?
All right, Al, just a few moments ago, Kings officials told me that Wayne Gretzky has suffered a Charlie horse, a thigh injury on his right leg. He has his equipment off. He will not be returning today. His injury status is listed as day-to-day. They have until Wednesday for him to heal. Bruce McNall got the news just a few moments ago, kind of shook his head and frowned a little bit, but despite the bad news, the mood of the team still very much upbeat after 2 strong periods of play. Back to you.
Thank you, Mark. And Wayne looked very good in the first period. Bruce McNall, the owner, Roy Malacher, the president of the team. Interesting that we have 5 goals in the game, John, 4 of them scored by defensemen.
That, to me, tells me that the Calgary players, their best offensive players, have been stymied by the L.A. Kings' good team defense. I think Calgary is trying too hard to be the aggressive team. They put themselves in the penalty box a number of times, and their players, who are generally skilled players, are going out of their way to take the body. And when you do that, it throws the whole rhythm of your team right out the window. Los Angeles has controlled 2 periods beautifully.
And the Flames have not looked good on their power play opportunity. Kelly Rudy, meanwhile, has played well. He hasn't made any spectacular saves necessarily, but he has stopped all but 1 shot. He has 12 saves, and again, that was one of the key storylines coming into the playoffs. Who would be the L.A. goalie? And if you joined us late, Rob Stauber hasn't even dressed. Rick Knickel, the 33-year-old longtime minor leaguer who came up in February, is dressed as the number 2 goalie. 4-1 as the third period begins. This is Ashton, back of the L.A. net. Now it's Otto. Otto checked by Conacher. Boy, Conacher doing a beautiful job, and Huddy sends it around the boards after the point. MacInnis' shot is deflected off to the right. Conacher scrapping for it. Now Sador gets a hold of it, and it's sent down the ice by Reichel. And we will have an icing call here in the face-off in front of Kelly Rudy.
As far as the Gretzky injury goes, he was hit during the first period, but from what I understand, he doesn't remember when or how. He felt the leg tighten up, came out for the second period after sitting down during the intermission, tried a few shifts, and then the leg tightened up. And I remember seeing the coach talk to Gretzky after his last shift, and Gretzky shaking his head, and that was the last shift we saw.
One big break for the Kings. Normally they play every other day in the playoffs, but because of us, because of ABC, this game was moved from Monday to today to Sunday, so Gretzky has an extra day to recover. Game 2 here on Wednesday.
Defensively, Nieuwendyk, 38 goals in the season, no shots. You've got Roberts, 38 goals in the season, 1 shot. Reichel, 40 goals, 1 shot. And this shot, not from a forward, but by a defenseman, Dahl. And Kelly Rudy's been sharp, hasn't allowed many rebounds. And when you get the catching glove going like he just did there, you can squeeze the puck and allow your team to set up for another face-off. Alex, Kings are not a good face-off team. We talked about it earlier, and you can see that was evidence right there as Nieuwendyk helped win the draw for the shot. That's one weakness more than maybe any other one that the Kings have. They just don't win many face-offs.
Don't win this one either. And Kozlowski's shot saved by Rudy, and back it comes to center ice and all the way down into the Calgary end. Vernon tried to get it to Suter, but it's taken away and out in front. Granato's shot, a save and a rebound, they score. Kurri Millen puts it in.
At one end of the ice, Kelly Rudy makes the save after the Flames got the puck towards the goal, and then up ice comes the Kings. Vernon had some trouble with the puck and never recovered as a team, did the Flames. Man, I can't believe the Flames standing around not taking bodies. Look at all the white jerseys, looking at the puck, trying to find it, and no one taking any of the dark jerseys and knocking them down. So Millen just strides right in, bang, in behind Vernon. 5-1 early in the third period.
5-1, and LA's been without Gretzky for more than a period. Rob Blake, as we mentioned before, perhaps their best defenseman, not in uniform today. The Kings hope to have him back by Game 3 on Friday, and a mock cheer for Vernon on the save here. So Millen scoring. Granato and Donnelly get the assist at 1:06 of the third period, and a very quiet crowd. Even those two guys are pretty well. You don't want to be too noisy in amongst the sea of red, but a couple of happy guys right there in McNall and Malacca watching their team lead by 4. You know, they don't look very happy.
The Kings should win this one, and in turn, having the extra day off, having the 1-0 lead if they hang on to win this thing, they will not have to force their best players to get back if they do have the injuries. This might buy time for Rob Blake to sit out an extra game, or Gretzky if he has to, knowing that the Kings were able to get into Calgary and get themselves the first win, if they indeed do.
Flames on the attack, but the Kings able to clear the zone as Sandstrom sends it all the way down the ice. And as Suter touches it, we'll have a face-off. In the face-off circle in front of Kelly Rudy. A look at the Kings bench with Granato and Kurri Millen. And a reminder, for those of you on the West Coast, the world's top drivers hit the streets of Southern California. The Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach coming up following the hockey game. Saddle Dome, Calgary. Kings scored on their first shot of the game and on their first shot of this period and lead 5-1. Ronnie Stern intercepting in the Kings end, but then he loses the puck, and back it comes to center ice, collected by Yorny. Sent up ahead to Reichel. He can't control. Back in comes Granato, but offside on the right side was Jimmy Carson.
5-1 and 5 goal posts. The Kings have. Mike Vernon has had a history of having problems with afternoon games. The last 4 seasons, he's gone 3-9-1 with afternoon games. And of course, this one, what looks like it'll make it 3-10-1. During that same period of time where he's gone 3-9-1 in the afternoon, the other goaltenders who have had to play in the afternoon for Calgary, they've gone 5-2-1. So there's going to be some questions after this one about Mike Vernon and the wake-up call. It hasn't been there.
And he'll get an early one next Sunday as well. For those of you in L.A. planning to attend Game 4, a reminder, it's a noon game next Sunday, Game 4.
He may not play that game because of that statistic.
Jeff Reese is the backup goalie out in front. Strudlin couldn't get a shot away. And we've got a penalty coming up.
Another hooking call, and we've seen a lot of that as the door goes once again. We've seen a lot of hooking and a lot of holding. We've had tripping penalties, not many of what you call the rough variety, high sticking, elbows, things like that. It hasn't been that style of a game. Strudlin keeps his legs churning as he tries to get to the puck. Sador held him up. And the Flames, once again, will get the chance on the power play, and they have had a rough time. 0 for 6 on the evening, or on the afternoon, pardon me, on the power play.
Well, I hope they're not over. They've been 0 for 5. This will be their 6th. And the Kings were able to score once in 5 opportunities, and that was Carson's goal that answered the shorthanded goal by Suter. Now MacInnis. And MacInnis, well, he wound up to take the slap shot, then sent it into the corner. There's another little mini story involving Calgary today. Here's the guy with maybe the hardest shot in the league, and a chance to fire it in, and had brain lock in the middle of it.
Calgary's power play, we mentioned it earlier, 34% over the last 9 games of the season, and the Kings have just simply taken it away here. Absolutely taken it away. Their penalty killers have been aggressive. They've stopped Calgary from setting up any set plays on the power play, and they've kept Al MacInnis real quiet.
Frank Lucille.
When you see Calgary on a power play and you see Berube playing on the power play, you know that's a change of strategy. He now goes to the bench, but he's not normally a power play player. Now we have another penalty away from the play, a tripping call, as Joe Nieuwendyk tried to interfere with that man, Mike Donnelly. And this continues to be a travesty for the Calgary Flames. They have not at all had many positive moments.
16:38 to play in regulation.
Introducing the new Subaru Impreza front-wheel drive. Over 20 years ago, Subaru was the first car company in America to introduce a full line of front-wheel drive vehicles. When it comes to putting the weight of the engine over the driving wheels, Subaru has the weight of experience. The new Subaru Impreza. It's not just another new car.
Special introductory price offer, starting under $11,000.
Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
Watch the facial expression of Wayne Gretzky. That's a grimace, not a smile. This was right after his very last shift during the second period. He's talking to Sandstrom saying, I can't go. He sat on the bench for a few minutes after that, then went to the locker room to be attended to, get the ice on the thigh. And that's the major story in this series.
Kings and Flames skating at equal strength, 4-on-4 here. Each team with a man in the penalty box. 5-1. Kings with 16:15 remaining in the third period. Suter skating in over the blue line. Nice cross-side pass to Berube to Fleury. And a save by Rudy. And the Kings with Robitallie scrapping for it behind the net. Gets it over to Hardy. And he starts back the other way.
Mark Hardy hasn't had much ice time. Now with a 5-1 lead, he'll try to spell off the other players, especially with Sador taking some penalties. Mark Hardy, with his experience, can come right off the bench and get it done.
Kings are offside. Here's John Saunders for a moment.
Has not headed to Kansas City. According to ABC Radio, he met this weekend with the brass of the 49ers and has decided to rescind his request for a trade. They say he will get a chance to compete for the #1 job with Steve Young. Montana is sticking with the 49ers. Back to you.
Well, very interesting information, John. Joe Montana, apparently to compete for the #1 job. A penny for Steve Young's thoughts right now? How about $100, John?
The grass is green in San Francisco, huh?
Here, the team skating 4-on-4. In another 5 seconds, the Kings will have a man advantage as Otto leaves it, and Calgary scores. Otto got it over to Dahlquist, who puts it by Rudy.
Well, if the forwards can't score, the defenseman will try and get it done. 4-on-4 action. Generally, you see lots of offense. And Joel Otto bowls right past, as you saw, Marty McSorley, the great pass. And then Dahlquist just goes wide on Kelly Rudy and scores in the backhand. The key was the missed check as McSorley tried to hit Otto. Once he missed him, the Flames had a chance to get some offense going. There's a battle in front. Zhitnik taking his man out. Dahlquist was open for just a moment, got the puck from Joel Otto, and all of a sudden it's 5-2. And Melrose has the sense right now that he's got to stop the quickness of the Flames. They do now have a power play, however, for 55 seconds.
All right, Sidora's come out of the box. Nieuwendyk is still in the penalty box. 45 seconds remaining in the Kings power play. Robitallie couldn't keep it in. Now Putty collects it. There's the Kings regroup. He sends it up ahead to Sandstrom. He skates in with Robitallie. Tries to leave it for Luke, but it's broken up by Roberts. He's ragged by Robitallie. The puck still comes back out to center ice, and Hardy, number 24, has it. 20 seconds remaining in the Calgary penalty. Dahl sends it up ahead and all the way down into the Los Angeles end. 10 seconds remaining in the penalty. One last rush for Los Angeles. Zhitnik sends it in behind the net. Taylor centering pass, nobody was there. Team skate at equal strength. Zhitnik's shot is wide. Taylor sends it back into Carson. He leaves it behind the net, but nobody there except the white shirt of Dahl. He can't get it out. Reichel is able to keep it in. Back to the point. Zhitnik tries to keep it in and does, and Taylor and Nieuwendyk scrap for it. The puck then comes loose, and Suter sends it up to Roberts, but a nice play by Zhitnik to poke check it away. Taylor now sends it to Carson. He tried to get it back to Taylor, who went down. Taylor now sending it to Reichel. Reichel checked into the boards by Fleury, and a penalty.
And Reichel's getting up thinking that he wants to get it Fleury. Fleury hit Reichel from behind. It was Carson who moved in on the partial breakaway. Very unselfish. Did not shoot the puck. Tried to move it across to Reichel. Fleury was coming back and saved what would have been a goal against his team. He, however, got very aggressive later, threw a hit into Reichel from behind. And that is one of the real no-nos in hockey, hitting an opposition player into the boards, generally because they cannot defend themselves. And Reichel's head went right into the glass and boards, and you can see he's having trouble with an injury. This could be a major penalty if Marawelli, the referee, said there's an injury on the play. Now, watch Carson. He could shoot here. This is a breakaway. Decides to make the pass, and watch Reichel get hooked there by Fleury. Great defensive play. Now, just moments later, you'll see the hit from behind by Fleury, and this is a mean, crushing blow, forcing with the elbow into the back of the head of Reichel, jamming it into the board, and that could be a major, it could be a minor.
5-minute major is apparently imminent.
This buys time for Los Angeles. It's a 5-minute penalty by looking at the scoreboard, and this buys time for Los Angeles to not allow Calgary any scoring chances. You can see the mark on the forehead of Reichel as he had his head just simply jammed into the board. Boarding is the call. It's a 5-minute major. Generally, referees will consider an injury if they see blood, and there you can see the attention that Reichel's getting. And he did a good thing after taking the hit. He did not respond. He did not turn around and try and go after Fleury. Maybe he was dazed on the play and couldn't. But Fleury has been banished. He's gone from the game. It's a game misconduct for the boarding major. And the Flames dig a hole just a little bit deeper.
Down by 3 with 13:52 to go. And unlike a minor penalty, if the Kings score, they still have a man advantage. And there's Kurri. He had a tough time closing that door.
And he tried to jam it as hard as he could, as quick as he could. The door won that one.
Well, you know, that really sums up the day for the Flames. The guy's trying to slam the door and can't even do that.
There's a shot from Kurri. He knocked Reichel down. Now, this elbow is one mean elbow. Jam, boom, right into the boards. A serious type hit. So Fleury's gone. Calgary last season, all season, had trouble with their best players playing undisciplined. And throughout this game, we've seen that somewhat. I think, myself, Calgary's gone way out of their way to try and play a mean, tough game. When you have players, other than Fleury, of course, who go out and, like Nieuwendyk, for instance, if he tries to play a real aggressive game, that's not his game. And you can see Calgary's off balance because of that. And it's been Los Angeles who have showed the discipline throughout this afternoon.
One difference in the playoffs is you can watch the coaching strategy evolve throughout the course of play. Unlike the regular season when teams don't see each other that much and sporadically. We'll see the changes that Dave King makes before Game 2. And we've got another penalty coming up here on Granato. So Tony Granato takes a penalty. It'll be a tripping call here with 4:24 left in the major penalty. Now Granato negates 2 minutes of that by going off here with 13:16 to play in the third.
Tripping, holding, hooking. Coaches look at those penalties and they wonder exactly what it's all about. This was Tony Granato trying to check a much bigger player in Joel Otto. And the only way you could knock him down was to knock his feet out, which he did. So now the Flames once again will try on the power play. And what's interesting here is now MacInnis sits on the bench. He has not had any success with the Flames on their power play. Oh, pardon me, it's 4-on-4 action. My apologies. 4-on-4 action. So Suter goes on the ice as one defenseman. Johansson's out there, number 34. He hasn't played too much. He's a defenseman who's played a lot of forward. And the Flames need to try and get something going 4-on-4.
13:16 remaining. Penguins won today. That figured. Game 1 is theirs as they beat New Jersey. St. Louis squeaking its way into the playoffs surprises the Blackhawks in Game 1 of that Norris semi. 3 other games tonight, and the other semi-final in this division, the Smythe, is tomorrow night. Game 1 in Vancouver, with the Canucks taking on the Jets. Winner of this series meets the winner of that series in the next round. So the team skating 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes, and then the Kings will have the power play again. This is Johansson with a lot of open ice to Pazlowski. Nice cross-ice pass to Reichel, but he stands on the shot. Gets it back in the corner. Sends it in behind to Pazlowski. He wheels, and his shot gloved by Rudy, who holds on. 12:54 remaining in the third period. 5-2, Los Angeles. With John Davidson, 5-2. The Kings on top with Jari Kurri. Over to Sandstrom as the team skate 4-on-4, each with a man in the penalty box. Granato is in for another minute and 15 seconds, and then the Kings will have a man advantage again. Roberts tries to split the defense, and Sador and Huddy say no, sir. Nieuwendyk sends it in front, and Roberts couldn't get a stick on it. And then Sandstrom sends it along the boards and out to center ice. Johansson to Suter. Carson forechecking, and now Suter will start back for the Flames as he sends it up ahead to Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk picked up by Waters, and then it's poke checked away by Hardy. MacInnis sends it in behind the net. Pazlowski tried to center it, and the puck hops up in the air and is gloved by Kelly Rudy with 32 seconds remaining in the Granato penalty. And let's check in with John Saunders in New York.
Well, St. Louis had the comeback of the day against Chicago. They were down 3-1. It's tied at 17 seconds before Nelson Emerson finds Brett Hull, and he fires in the game winner, 4-3 in the 1-0 lead. Back to Alan Jones.
Thank you, John, and let's take a look at this from up above.
Kelly Rudy trying to find a way to find the puck. And you see how the shot gets through with Gary Roberts standing in front. Calgary's had 18 shots on goal. One of them shorthanded, 6 on the power play, only 11 at even strength. And we played about 48 minutes. That is not performance as far as offense goes. It's certainly performance as far as defense goes. The Kings have been there.
30 seconds remaining in the Granato penalty. Rudy losing the puck, the rebound, the shot, another save, and now another penalty.
Oh, boy, this is a face-off win. We mentioned it many times now that Calgary should be the better face-off team, and they won this one. It was like a rocket going back to MacInnis. The first big shot of the game by MacInnis is on goal. What's the face-off win? Right back like a rocket. Now, MacInnis will get the rocket on goal. But there's a rebound that gets away, and with the penalty taken, it saved a goal against. That is a good penalty to take. Right in front, as you can see, the Flames struggle to try and get to the puck. That was Greg Kozlowski, a very strong physical forward, trying to find the puck, and Waters took him down.
3 until Granato gets out of the box. MacInnis sends it to Yanni. Yanni's shot is deflected in front. MacInnis checked by Kurri. Now to Reichel. Over to Yanni, who had only 1 goal all season, and that came in the final game the other night against San Jose. And Yanni's shot is wide.
Kurri wants MacInnis to pass the puck and Yanni to take the shot.
And he scores! Just as Granato comes out of the penalty box, it makes it 5-3. Brent Yanni went the whole season without a goal until the final game of the regular season. And now he scores Thursday night against San Jose and scores here to put Calgary down by 2.
A shot that Kelly Rudy saw all the way, only it was a perfect shot off the post. MacInnis passed the puck all the time, and that's what the Kings wanted. Not a shot by MacInnis, but yes, a shot by Yanni, and he made them pay for it. Yanni put a beautiful shot off the goal post. See, MacInnis, he's so far back, almost at the blue line, he decided to move it to Yanni, who could shoot the puck from the top of the circle. Great shot, and we now have a timeout called, I suspect, by Los Angeles to try and calm their team down. It's now 5-3 with 11:13 to go as the Flames climb back into this thing.
Yanni assisted by Reichel and MacInnis at 8:47.
Again, MacInnis on the pass. All the offense for Calgary in this game have come off face-off wins in the Los Angeles zone. This was a power play, but the draw was won by Calgary, and they never relinquished the puck off of it. Remember the previous face-off, MacInnis had the shot. That's the one weakness we're really seeing here in this game by Los Angeles, their inability to win face-offs in their own zone. That and some bad penalties, I think, hooking, holding types of things gave Calgary a chance to get back into it, and yes, they are.
In the final game of the regular season Thursday night in L.A., Vancouver came on in the third period as the Kings fell apart, and L.A. does not want to see a repeat of that. The Flames have outshot the Kings 8-1 in this period. The teams are skating 4-on-4, each with a man in the penalty box. This is Suter. His shot is wide. Johansson is able to keep it in. 1:15 left in the penalty to the Waters. Now Suter skates in. His shot deflected high in the air. Ranheim sends it in behind the net and around to Suter. Kurri is there to try to dislodge it. He can. It comes out in front, and Roberts loses the puck. Waters will be out of the box in about 52 seconds, and then the Kings will have about a 50-second power play. And as Johansson comes in, the Flames are offside with 10:28 remaining in the third period.
It'll be Kelly Rudy time now. Calgary with 21 shots. Los Angeles has 5 goals on their 18 shots, but this is the first time in the game, and it's been over the last 3 or 4 minutes that the Flames have started to get it going. Great pass by Roberts. The aggressive goaltending of Kelly Rudy right here. He comes way out. Now, if the puck is put in front, there's a problem, because Kelly Rudy is almost in the corner. Holding in front by Robitallie that he got away with. That's Johansson looking for the puck. So you can sense Calgary now, for the first time in the game, getting real good offensive flow going. It may be Kelly Rudy time to get the job done.
Again, the team skating 4-on-4 about halfway through the third period. 5-3 Kings. Millen shot off the side of the post. Yoni tries to collect it. Gets shoved away by Donnelly, who feeds Millen, and Millen's shot off the netting. And another penalty coming up.
Al MacInnis just flung Corey Millen down to the ice. Corey Millen with a great shift. His team needed something, and this may be the key. He got the puck, skated into the zone 2-on-2, and nearly scored a goal himself, set up another scoring chance, and forced Al MacInnis to throw him down to the ice and take a penalty. You see, Mike Vernon has a shot that goes wide. Millen's already knocked down, but he'll get up, find the puck. You'll see it right in behind the net. Donnelly's there. Millen finds the puck. Scoring chance that missed. Now watch Al MacInnis skate around, grab him, and just throw him right on down to the ice. Headlock and down. And Corey Millen got the job done for Los Angeles as he drew the penalty.
You see Craig Berube on the right. He's serving the Theron Fleury penalty since Fleury is out of the game. That's the major. Now you've got MacInnis. He's in for 2. The Fleury penalty lasts another 1:12. Waters is in the box for the Kings. So the Kings right now will have a one-man advantage for the next 23 seconds, and then they'll have a two-man advantage for roughly 49 seconds. And then a one-man advantage after Berube comes out of the penalty box.
Okay, we got that.
Okay.
Okay. The face-off, too, dramatically affects special teams. Puck possession is so important on special teams. And if you can't win draws, you've got to chase the puck down. Ottawa wins another one. Yep. Calgary shows here that now Los Angeles on the power play have to try and find a way to get the puck back. But that knocks time off the power play.
One-man advantage for L.A. as Robitallie sends it over to Sandstrom. Again, Gretzky out of the game since early in the second period. And it's cleared away by Dahlquist. All right, now Waters comes out of the box. The Kings with a two-man advantage for the next 49 seconds. They're skating 5-on-3. Here comes Robitallie. He leaves it for Sandstrom. Robitallie sets up in front of the net, and behind him is Carson to score. Carson skating in behind Robitallie, took the pass and puts it in, and the Kings lead 6-3.
And remain on the power play with a 5-on-3 goal. So one of the players for Calgary's allowed out of the penalty box. Great pass right through all 3 Flame players. The pass hits the trailer. The trailer is Carson, and he scores. Sandstrom had his head up, knew exactly where Carson was. Great pass, a quick shot right off the pass. Watch the reaction of the bench and the coach. They sensed it. 6-3, 3-goal lead with 9:28 to go, and still a power play for Los Angeles with that major to Fleury still have 36 seconds remaining.
Carson is second of the day. Robitallie and Sandstrom getting the assist. 9:28 to play in the third. 6-3 Kings. It's broken up, intercepted by Ranheim, and his shot is gloved by Rudy with 27 seconds still remaining on the power play.
Zitnik, the defenseman, give the puck away. The shot was going wide. Rudy made the save, but Zitnik skated behind the net all by himself, banged the stick into the glass, knowing that he made a bad mistake. And I think bad is the proper word. You can't turn the puck over in that situation. He's a young player, but knows better, and he realized it immediately, which is a credit to him.
Remaining in the third period. 27 seconds left in the major penalty to Fleury being served by Berube.
Remember the penalty Corey Millen drew with that hard work around the goal net. MacInnis in the box, 5-on-3, and Los Angeles scored the goal to give themselves that 3-goal lead once again. That was just a hard-nosed good play by Corey Millen. Doesn't show up in any stat sheet, but he got the job done.
Donnelly loses the puck, taken away by Ashton. The Kings then send it back to center ice is Granato. Hardy sends it around the boards. That's the end of the penalty. The teams are skating at equal strength again with 8:45 remaining in the third period. McSorley sending it into the corner. Vernon behind the boards to Suter. Up ahead, this is Nieuwendyk skating in on the right wing. Hardy is there. He swipes at it. Berube gets it. He sends it in front. Centering pass. Nobody is there. And we've got another penalty coming up on the Kings. Mark Hardy will be going off for holding with 8:22 remaining in the third. 3-goal lead for LA.
Boy, now Joel Otto gets a chance. Remember when Gretzky was in the lineup, Otto was strictly a defensive centerman. He's a great face-off man. That's probably why he's out there. He just wins another. Now he can help out on the power play.
MacInnis to Jari. He sends it in. Saved by Rudy. Comes all the way out near the blue line. Cleared by LA as Conacher sends it down behind the Calgary net. Here's Jari. Into the corner. Chases it down himself. Berube to MacInnis. Now Reichel. Reichel back out to the point. Now MacInnis sends it back to Reichel. MacInnis. Shot. Saved by Rudy. Sends it off into the corner. Now Roberts to Reichel. With 1:10 remaining in the Flames power play. Here's Reichel. He sends it in front. And the shot by Otto was wide. He had Otto set up in front, and Otto couldn't connect.
The Otto can win draws, but when he gets scoring chances, he does not have the scoring hands that Nieuwendyk has. And if that was Nieuwendyk, it might have been a goal. Credit Charlie Huddy, the defenseman. He helped Joel Otto by pushing at his stick, forcing the shot wide.
Icing call here. Meanwhile, let's go to Mark Jones, who's with Bruce McNaull. Go ahead, Mark.
Bruce, just a few moments ago, you spoke with Wayne. What did he have to say about the severity of his injury?
It wasn't too bad, he didn't think. Again, they'll know a lot more tomorrow after he's had a little rest on it, but he thinks it'll be okay to go on Wednesday.
He will be able to play then?
I'm not the doctor yet or Wayne, but I think he'll be able to go, I think. He doesn't seem to be too bad, he said right now.
Tough for you as the owner to watch one of your most prized investments suffer like that?
Well, it doesn't make you feel any better, that's for sure, when I saw him he was on the ice, but, you know, that's part of the game, and he'll be fine.
All right, Wayne Gretzky's spirit's good, guys. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Mark. And as we mentioned before, Gretzky will have the extra day with Game 2 to be played here on Wednesday night.
Kings have a fellow by the name of Jürgen Metz. He does a lot of the massaging, and Gretzky will be getting a lot of that. Ice, probably many different times the rest of the day and tonight to try and calm the area down. And then when he wakes up tomorrow and he takes that first step, I think everybody will know exactly how tight it is, and they'll get a good read on the injury.
Shot sent in on Vernon, who leaves it behind the net. Time for one final rush for the Flames on this power play before Hardy comes out of the box. Here's Suter skating it over the blue line. In behind the net. Kozlowski scrapping for it, but has it taken away. Johansson keeps it in. His shot is deflected. And the teams are now at equal strength again. Mark Hardy is out of the box, and it's Hardy who can't poke check it away from Johansson, but he does ride him out of the play, pins him against the boards. The puck is still loose. And finally a whistle for Maruelli with 6:04 remaining in the third period, and the Kings leading 6-3. Visa storyline, such as it is, Kings with 3 goals in a 3:23 span of the second after the game was tied 1-1. Gretzky with a Charlie horse leaving the game in the second period, and it's day-to-day. We'll have to wait and see. Jimmy Carson with 2 goals, including the one that put LA on top 2-1. And the Flames have been inept on the power play, 0 for 8 with very few shots.
8 average again, 1 per power play. Excellent, excellent penalty killing by Los Angeles. They've gotten steady goaltending from Kelly Rudy, but 0 for 8 is a big story against this power play that was red hot throughout the end of the season. And when you combine that fact with the fact that the 16 teams in the Stanley Cup tournament, Los Angeles had the worst ranked penalty killing unit, 16th of the 16. It's been a great story for them.
Here's Millen skating and gets off a backhander, saved by Vernon. Donnelly, this line is a lot of fun to watch. Donnelly and Granado and Millen. And they've done a tremendous job.
You remember Corey Millen from the 88 Olympics right here. He was their captain.
And the 84 team as well. And Granado played on the 88 team.
He was the captain of Team USA as they battled in the Olympics.
Here comes Granado. He tried to get it over to Donnelly, but the pass was behind him. And here is Musil, who had Olympic experience himself with the former Czechoslovakia, now the Czech Republic. Conacher can't control the center ice. It's taken there by MacInnis. And now Hardy for the Kings. Sends it over to McSorley, who led the league in penalty minutes this year. Marty spent 399 minutes in the box. That is 6 hours and 39 minutes. Here's Ranheim.
Now that's hockey, isn't it?
Sending it wide, yeah. Poor Marty, though. He's a great, if you know him, he's a terrific guy. Very involved in the community. And he really had a great year offensively.
He did. And he said going into this series that he felt Calgary was going to try to run him, knock him, and to get him off his game and spend time in the penalty box. Well, he's only had one minor all game long.
Ranheim, backhand save. There's a look at McSorley as we go to a commercial here with 4:29 remaining in the third.
Fire than any other player with the Calgary Flames, a former 50-goal scorer. Very, very serious injury, Al. And right now, Gary Roberts is wearing football pants-styled outfit underneath his hockey pants, and it's protected on the left leg. He had surgery. There's an 11-inch scar showing where the surgery was on the left thigh. Now, what I'm getting to here is you just don't think of a Charlie horse as a Charlie horse. This is something that can be very severe if it's not taken care of, and that's probably the reason why Wayne Gretzky has not come back, and the doctor's there trying to take care of Gretzky and making sure that the injury doesn't get any worse than what it is.
Again, we're not suggesting it's more than a minor injury to Gretzky, but that's why they call it day-to-day. They don't know. Again, Game 2 will be played here on Wednesday. 4:20 remaining. Kings leading 6-3. Robitallie has his shot, saved by Vernon. Robitallie gets checked.
He got nailed.
He really got nailed.
He's hurting.
Luke is down.
Yanni looking around thinking maybe one of the King players will get at him. There was a 2-on-1 on Luke Robitallie after he took the shot. And the Flame players move in. The King players very, very upset. The point here is, though, not many of the more aggressive players for the Kings are on the ice. Charlie Huddy trying to make a statement. Robitallie had two players push him and slam him into the boards. You can see a moment ago he was blinking quickly, maybe dazed as the helmet was knocked off. Same spot where Reichel was hit by Fleury earlier in the game. You'll see two players move right in. And Yanni moves in. He did not hit Robitallie from behind, but Robitallie was in no man's land. He was about 4 feet away from the boards, and you can't brace yourself. You'd rather be right against the boards when you get hit. It looked like Yanni hit the side, more the shoulder of Robitallie, which is a clean hit. As the hitter, it's against the rules to leave your feet. Yanni did not. That appeared to be a good, hard, clean hit, but Robitallie didn't see it coming. And again, he was in no man's land. He could not brace himself quick enough to allow the boards to take the hit. Instead, he was slammed into the boards. There'll be no penalty. See, the side hit. Now, see how far Robitallie flies before he hits the boards? If he's up against the boards at the time of the hit, it's not nearly as dangerous. And I can understand why the referee does not call a penalty on the play.
So Robitallie is back on the bench with 4:08 remaining in the third period. Luke Robitallie, we mentioned before, 63 goals, most ever by a left winger, and combined with his 62 assists, that gave him 125 points, most ever by a left winger.
Nickname is Lucky. Yeah. He's not lucky on the ice. He's good. It's interesting. Wayne Gretzky made what I consider an ultimate compliment. He said Robitallie is the closest player he's seen to Mike Bossy. Mike Bossy was a great goal scorer over the years with the New York Islanders prior to retiring with a bad back. He said Robitallie has the ability just to shoot the puck, get it on goal quickly and in the right spot. An amazing goal scorer throughout his career, and still a young career.
Isn't it interesting how his name comes up so often when they talk about trades, the rumor trade? Wednesday at Calgary, Game 2. Then in L.A. Friday night, Sunday afternoon. That game is on ABC, and there's a look at the rest of the schedule. I would suspect, John, that a lot of those rumors are generated by the team trying to trade for Robitallie.
I can understand it.
Yeah.
Now, Luke's not a graceful skater, maybe a little slower than some, but he gets to the spot, get him the puck, and it's in the goal. Oh, Ronnie Stern just skated over and flattened somebody. Now Barubi's after him as Calgary has the aggressive players on the ice. They went after Shuchuk, and Stern will go. Now he goes over and tries to get McSorley going. The Flames have lost their cool. They're trying to make a statement. Stern throws a punch. This is getting to the point where it's ridiculous.
He threw the punch at Shuchuk.
Now, you have to watch and see if the... And look at the referee. You don't see that normally. Marawelli doing a good job holding up.
That's the type of thing I would think that would precipitate a suspension.
No, well, not yet. You haven't seen a match. You just saw a right hand, a swing. If it's a stick foul or something on those lines, you'd see it. But it's Calgary's frustration showing here. Dave King put his rugged players on the ice. They tried to stir it up. And basically, Los Angeles turned the cheek. They turned away. McSorley was on the ice. He could drop the gloves and go with anybody, but he stayed away from it. Look at Kurri rubbing the back of Shuchuk, knowing that he got it done. The Kings have been a disciplined team. Melrose is under control as the coach. And Calgary, down 3 goals with 3:43 to go, are in a position where they're thinking ahead, trying to make a statement that they're not going to lie down. Watch Game 2. We'll be back, but it's hurting them.
Well, it goes back to what we talked about at the beginning. In a way, this game is being played paradoxically. You think of the Kings as being freewheeling, totally offensive-minded, a little lackluster defensively. That man's team, Dave King's Flames, tactically sound, fundamentally sound, and yet it's the Kings who are playing the way you think the Flames would play, and vice versa.
I'm glad you explained that. When you use words bigger than marmalade, I have a problem.
Get out the Scrabble, boys. 3:43 remaining in the third period. Kings on top 6-3 as we run past the top of the hour. As soon as this one is over, we will go right to Long Beach for the Long Beach Toyota Grand Prix. And there it is coming up next year on ABC Sports. Kings on top 6-3. They led 1-0 after 1. Flames tied it early in the second, but then the Kings reeled off 3 more second period goals to make it 4-1. Flames tried to get back in it when it was 5-3, but Carson's second goal of the game made it 6-3, and that's where we're at right now.
You will often see teams who are in a position that they will lose a game. They will try to be aggressive. They will try to intimidate. And they will try to make the winning team think about the next game. This is the beginning of what could be 7 nasty, grueling games, and generally the games get tougher as series move along. But Los Angeles certainly has been a more mature team, I think would be the proper word, during this afternoon's action.
2 minutes for cross-checking, 4 minutes for roughing, and a 10-minute misconduct at 16-17.
You heard the tail end of the announcement in regard to Ronnie Stern. Strudlin's also going off for 2 minutes.
When you see the penalty minutes here, you'll understand that Dan Marawelli's done a nice job. He gave Strudlin the 2 minutes, 6 minutes to Stern. So Calgary is going to run out the clock short-handed. Dan Marawelli's done a nice job, I think, keeping this game under control. He's let them go a little bit, and he's made the calls. And the aggressiveness of the Flames certainly has not worked.
Well, Stern gets 3 minors and a misconduct. Well, what does it matter at this point? What's the record for most penalty minutes? We talked about McSorley, 399 this year. Dave Schultz, 472 for the Flyers.
If Marty wanted to, he could run out and get that record. Marty had 91 minutes in 7 games against Calgary during a regular season series. And again, he's only had the 1 minor in this game. And it just tells you about what he told us. He's going to try and be smart, not sit in the penalty box. Now, it would be interesting to see what would happen if it was 6-3 in favor of Calgary. Would Los Angeles be the team out there trying to make a statement for the next game? I think so. That's just how it works. Late in games, Calgary still needs another player. Johansson now skates across to the penalty box. That's why the door is open. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. 51-20 in minutes, 16-9 in penalties.
So this one has not gone according to form, but the Kings ain't complaining.
I would think that a lot of Calgary people would say blame the referee. I don't think they should blame the referee. Blame themselves, and they can get themselves thinking right for game 2.
Žitnik keeps it in at the point. This is Sandstrom. Kings skating 5-on-3. Žitnik sends it over to the right side. The shot is wide, and here's Kurri now to set it up. It's it back from Carson. Žitnik up top to Kurri. Kurri to Robitallie. His backhander save. And then Vernon covers up for the whistle. Key goal in the game, that man right there, Jimmy Carson, after a shorthanded goal, tied the game 1-1. This happened early in the second period.
Carson's on the puck, but we have to watch the front of the goal and Carson not get there. Basically, what you'll see is Calgary go after the 2 men in the dark jerseys right in front, Shuchuk and Granato. The puck put on goal. The 2 players for LA are knocked down. Now, if we stop, see how they're all paying attention in here. Even this man is. Carson comes from the outside, pulls the puck out, just jams it in. Big goal for Los Angeles, and it showed how Calgary hasn't taken care of business with men away from the puck.
Kings 2-man advantage as McSorley feeds Kurri. And Marty gets it back. McSorley's slap shot is wide.
Robitaille looked back at McSorley and said, "What was that?" It was a shot that whizzed right by his ear.
Yeah, what's going on down there? McSorley on the right side to Robitallie. 50 seconds left in the 2-man advantage. Sandstrom back out to McSorley. Marty slapper, saved by Vernon. Vernon then gloves it.
Carson upset with himself. He was going for the hat trick. He had a great opportunity, but Mike Vernon was right there. The shot from the point will get near the net. You'll see it here from McSorley. Now watch Carson. He's down low to the left side. Watch him sneak in front. There's the puck. Thinking about a hat trick. Mike Vernon stuffed the puck as it sits right against the outside of the goal post.
Whistle with 2:24 remaining. 41 seconds left in the 2-man advantage. And then the Kings will have a 1-man advantage the rest of the way. McSorley paired now with Sador, and Marty has his shot saved by Vernon. Rebound, and again they scrap for it. And the goal light has gone on. The light is on, but Marawali did not signal a goal. Here's McSorley, and he has it redirected through the crease. Donnelly back of the net to Sador, back to McSorley again.
5-on-3, and Dahlquist doesn't have a stick. Calgary's in trouble.
Yeah. McSorley has it deflected out to Sador. 1 man comes back on the ice, so it's a 1-man advantage as McSorley fans on the shot, and the Flames are able to clear it out. So now the Kings will have a 1-man advantage, barring any subsequent penalties the rest of the way.
The red light came on, signaling goal, but the referee was in perfect position and watched where the puck was, and he himself did not think the puck was entirely across the goal line.
Now Musil with 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. Sends it in behind the net. Chased down by Millen. Žitnik. Now Donnelly. Donnelly skates in with Conacher. Tries to get a back pass for Conacher. Conacher now behind the net. He gets checked by MacInnis. It comes out to Žitnik at the blue line. To Donnelly. Donnelly with a nice pass. Huddy's shot is deflected wide. And Dave Taylor comes away from the puck. In the waning seconds of what will be a King victory in game 1, and will give the Kings home ice advantage. Žitnik's backhander to Donnelly. Donnelly tried to send it over to Conacher, and it was deflected. So home ice advantage will now belong to the Kings, and that's all it takes to turn home ice advantage around. You win 1 of 2 on the road.
And really put the pressure on Calgary as Los Angeles is called for icing. Calgary has to win game 2, or they could be in big trouble going to Los Angeles for 2 games. Earlier we saw the goal judge put the light on. Does the puck go entirely over the goal line? This should be a real good look at it. Joel Otto sees the puck slide to the outside of the goal post. The goal stick is there from Mike Vernon. The puck is on top of his goal stick, but not over the goal line, I don't believe. Marawelli has a perfect view of it, does a nice job. Great job by Marawelli as he looked at it in perfect position, and that's the primary job of the referee, to get into position to make these calls. Now, we've had a stoppage here. We now have the first stoppage since that play, and Marawelli has gone over to the penalty box, and they are reviewing it from upstairs. The instant replay goal judge is checking it out. He will reaffirm or make his own decision as to what the play was. He's on the phone, too, with the goal judge, wondering why the light went on, if indeed the puck didn't cross the goal line.
If they're seeing what we're seeing, and that's what they have access to, I don't think there's enough there to overrule.
You can go to video replay for make that 6 different reasons, and one of them is whether or not the puck goes entirely over the goal line. Marawelli was in good position. It was checked out with a goal judge and upstairs with video replay, and it's termed no goal. They have to wait, Al, until the first stoppage. And if indeed it was a goal, they would put all that time back on the clock and allow the goal to stand.
And that was about a good 90 to 100 seconds worth. So the clock winds down. This one belongs to the Kings, and they do it without Blake. They do it with Gretzky missing, in effect, 2 periods. And they take home ice advantage away from Calgary. Kings take the lead in the series as they beat the Flames in Game 1, 6-3. That's it from the Saddle Dome. Al Michaels, John Davidson, Mark Jones saying so long from Calgary, Alberta.